When Germany committed Holocaust against the Jews and all those kind of things, can you come up to a Jew and tell him in a crowded place where there are a lot of Jews, and say that, hey, Germany did the right thing? What do you expect the crowd will do to you?
What does that have to do with anything? If they murder the person for saying that, they
Yeah.
should all go to jail.
Yeah, but Muslims say, and religious people say that incitement to violence is also a crime. Won't you agree?
Incitement to violence is legally a crime, yes. Incitement to violence as in go
Thank you,
kill that guy.
thank you. In all the debates you see, Muslims are catching up to this thing that, hey, although we defend these red lines, but there are long-term benefits in defending these red lines. Whereas you people were always like, oh, we are liberals, and now we are seeing that liberalism is now even worse than what we used to believe in, right? So you can see the
So
ramifications.
that was a lot of rambling, but the point is you don't believe in capital punishment for insulting the prophet?
No, I do
So
believe it.
first
I do
premise,
believe it, but I say that there is a multifaceted view to it.
hear me out,
Hmm.
to use your phrase. There's a sentence that you've said a few times, and that is that Muslim, Islam, whatever, is about respecting each other's. What was the phrase? Respecting each other's values?
Yes.
Okay. There's a second part to that statement, and that is that as long as they agree with your own.
No.
That is not hate speech. That is not anti-Semitism. That is not actionable in a court of law.
Rigel, hear me out.
Now,
Hear me out.
if I say, shut up. If I,
All right, us Muslims, we want people that come to our country to not say bad things about Muhammad because we're very
Yes.
sensible about him and we respect him highly.
Yes.
And we just don't like that kind of speech in our country.
Yes.
So let us don't say bad things about Muhammad in our country.
Whip scribble, if a Muslim starts promoting hate speech in America, they can label you as terrorist. Muslims are labeled with terrorists all the time, and they will drone strike you, they will kill you, and they will justify it, and nobody will condemn it.
You're basically advocating right now for what the Jews in Israel are doing to Palestine, because they took over the country, they instituted their values, and they're upset at Palestine, and so they're doing what they're doing. You're arguing that they're right to do it.
No. I was saying that if you come up to Logicked and say that, hey, I will kill you, now that will be labeled as a threatening statement, as a harassment, and all these kind of laws will be implemented upon you. Just on saying, even though you didn't take the action.
Indicating your intent to commit
Yep,
murder,
yep.
none of which
It's not
are
about the
a capital
word.
crime.
It's not about offending somebody.
I was just making the argument
Yeah,
that,
it's because you're proclaiming that you're about to commit a deadly crime.
yes, that is my position. That is my position.
No, it isn't. You said you want capital punishment by process.
Yeah, capital punishment is also present, strategic migration is also
Yes,
present. Why cannot
your
Muslims?
position includes capital punishment for speech.
Yeah, but what is wrong with having a multifaceted view? Capital punishment keeps it as a mental deterrent of keeping a society in check in terms of, hate speech. The real world has aggressive natured people as well. If there is a crowded bunch of people and you start insulting them, if you start, now listen, hear me out, hear me out. Let me. If there is 1,000 people and you start insulting them and they have a view, there might be 2 or 3 that probably will kill you. Might be 900 people
Okay, so
that ignore you.
let me ask this.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay,
I'll probably ignore you. But in a mob of 1,000 people, 3 or 4 might not, have the same reaction as,
And that's okay with you?
so then shouldn't they be punished, not the person who spoke?
Are
Like
you
if somebody,
okay with the fact that people would do that in a crowd?
Yeah, but hear me out. Those laws,
Be like, well, he deserved it.
Yeah.
He said it in front of 1,000 people. Someone goes and kills him. You should have expected it. He had it coming.
yeah, he was intentionally trying to incite violence, and violence can result in killing, knowing the mob culture mentality. But you are looking very naive. You are very naive that if somebody has murdered someone and the court says that this person should be killed, logic is saying that he will actually condemn the court.
why? Why should I? You don't believe in capital punishment.
This is extreme type of liberalism. This is not a very good liberalism. If somebody has murdered someone, ask the family.
You're trying to, you're playing these word games, which is what every fucking apologist does every time. Oh, you're against the death penalty. Oh, but you're for the death penalty here. Like, these are different situations.
In terms of capital punishment, the world is dead even. Do you know that? 50% of the countries believe in capital punishment, 50% of the countries do not believe in that capital punishment.
Capital punishment for what?
USA and UK actually agree with capital punishment.
For what?
Capital punishment for treason, treachery, and they have all their kind of labels for that. Drone strike also kill people, right?
Saying something you find insulting to actions of war.
Do you know, Rigel, do you know,
Related things.
do you know that capital punishments that Muslims have done for blasphemy are so negligible, and drone strikes that have actually killed Muslims are 1,000 times more.
Whataboutism. It's, oh yeah, I'm bad, I'm advocating murder, but what about you? What about, not only what about you, what about the government that has nothing to do with you?
By the way, even in my country, in Pakistan, do you know US conducted unjust drone strikes for so many years, and we went through all of that as well. Do you also condemn that and call that as a terrorist?
The U.S. have done terrible things
Yeah.
in the Middle East, all throughout the course of history.
And if they were intentionally
we're not
targeting,
talking about drone strikes.
if
We're
they were
talking about
intentionally,
freedom of speech in America.
Why doesn't drone strikes matter you people? Why doesn't drone strikes matter when they also kill people?
however, this is idiotic whataboutism. However, yes, if the U.S., I'm sure you can probably provide some examples. If the U.S. intentionally targeted civilians
Oh.
as opposed to enemy combatants, and
Intentionally.
murdered them with drones,
Intentionally.
yes, I condemn that entirely.
Intentionally.
Nobody
Every
agrees.
instance of
How
it.
do you check intentions, Logic? How do you
Nobody thinks that's acceptable.
how do you check in?
Nobody thinks that's acceptable.
But how do you check intentions when it comes to a white supremacist, a Western American government killing with drone strikes?
If they go and blow up like a apartment building with just a bunch of civilians in it, pretty much assign the intentions.
That's literally what they do.
Major fuck up.
That's
They should have done their work better.
Yeah, that's literally what they do. Read about these drone strikes. They are happening in Afghanistan, Somalia. Bib Scribble was saying that ideologically you say that offensive speech, for religion, Muslims can, execute Christians if Christians start saying that Muhammad is so and so, right? So he said, will you endorse if the Christians put the same rules against you in a Christian country? I said that obviously I'll say no because I'm a Muslim. I believe in a universalist ideology, and then I gave the spherical earthers versus the flat earthers argument.
Wait, so I'm sorry. So you're saying, you understood the question very well.
Yep.
So you got what I was saying.
Yes.
You're saying it's not okay if the Christians do the same way the Muslims.
Because I believe in a universalist ideology. All religions believe in universalist ideology.
Why is it okay? And that's not very universalist if the Muslims can do it, and then the Christians can't do the same rules for their religion.
Because we believe Christianity is wrong.
What he means is that universally Muslims are right, Christians
Yes,
are wrong.
yes, logic. Yes.
If you want to talk about compatibility, here's my question. If you want to talk about compatibility in a society, everybody has to have the same standard for one another. Why is it okay if Muslims do it as their rule because you think they're correct?
Okay. Now,
Shouldn't do it because their religion is wrong.
okay. Now let me answer. In this entire world, nobody is 100% similar to another person, right? Even you people are different to each other, right? So this thing about compatibility is that nobody is absolutely similar to anybody, but we are compatible. Now, you said the Christian country having the exact same laws, just like the Muslim country has. Will I appreciate those laws? I said ideologically speaking, I will say that because Christianity is wrong, I am against that. However, in the real world, I will respect those laws. I will check those laws, and I will check whether those laws are compatible with my living there. If they are compatible with me living there, I'll migrate. If they are not compatible with me living there, I will not migrate. So this works like this. This entire world works like this. If you are not compatible with a Muslim country, you can go to another country.
Okay. Well, at least you didn't really add that part until just now, which is fine.
Why cannot we take a compatibilist model? Because in UAE, in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia, there are people like you who are, immigrating to those countries as well, and they don't find any.
Killing people?
In Qatar, they don't find any problems coming to Muslim countries. Why? Because if let me make a bigger argument. What if
Because they know what not to say so they don't get murdered.
can't we come up with a compatibilist model that can't we live in a world where we respect each other's values to the point that you can come to my country and I can come to your country?
Can't we just live in a world where if you say the wrong thing, I can kill you? Can't we just live in that world? Can't we just be compatible in that way? If I come to your place, you can kill me too. It's okay. No. You've talked a few times about compatibility, and that's a good thing. If I'm understanding the word compatibility right.
Yep.
But anytime you bring a different groups of people who have very different ways of viewing things together, if you're going to get them to live together in some kind of a peaceful way, compromise
Yep.
on all sides has to happen.
Yep.
لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي.
When Andrew Tate got banned, some Muslims say that probably it was because he became Muslim and he got.
It's because he was found to be raping women.
Yeah,
It was found that he was encouraging a culture.
Yeah, but
He was encouraging a culture of abusing women.
Yeah, but what are your views on that? I don't think that those
I
things.
just provided them. He is an ass. I don't care if he's Muslim or not. He's an ass. Do you know why he was attracted to Muslim? Do you know why he said he was attracted to the Muslim
Yeah,
faith? Because
because
his
of
version of being an asshole was something that they would cheer as a strength.
because Islam had best family values, best social values,
No,
and
no, 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 no. That might be what he told you. That's not what he told everybody else. What he told everybody else was that he could walk down the street, or one of the examples he gave was
yeah,
if you walk around and you insult God, nobody really cares. Christians won't really care.
yeah,
But if you insult Islam, if you insult Allah,
yeah.
then they can kill you, and that's a strength.
That's a strength, yeah, because in every country. By the way, in your country, if a Muslim starts promoting, things like Sharia law, joining ISIS, these kind of things, you know, probably United States will do the same thing, right? They will lock him up, and so
Breaks
this,
the law, yeah.
yeah, these things of
We usually, okay, in the U.S., if it's a person within the U.S., we usually don't hear about them joining ISIS until we see the video they made just before they went in, they shot the place up, or they set off a bomb. That's when we find out about the video they made that said, we support ISIS.
yeah. I was saying that there are red lines in all countries, right? It's not like
Wait. So, I didn't. I missed part of that conversation because I was like distracted because it was boring. But then all of a sudden I heard, if you insult Islam, you should be killed in the street. Did I mishear that?
no.
That was a thing that Tate said. It was that was a strength
but
of Islam. Islam was strong.
No, he didn't say. He didn't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't say that you will be killed. He said that in Christianity, if you say that Jesus is gay, you will get away with it. But in a Muslim country, if you say you will not get away with it, he didn't say that they will kill you. I mean, he said that they will be harsh upon you, and it is a good thing about. Yeah, that's a good thing about it.
What's your position?
Yeah, on what?
On whether you should be killed for, say, us insulting the Prophet.
Yeah, that's a good question. I believe in a
Well,
Muslim.
then you have the answer.
Yeah, I believe in a Muslim majority country, there should, if somebody from makes an argument of freedom of expression, right, that he should be allowed to insult. I believe in he should be allowed to criticize religion but not insult religion in a Muslim majority country. If he insults,
And so, if
yeah,
he's not allowed to insult it, then what should happen if he does?
yeah, if he insults in public, then the thing is he should be given a warning first. That's, I believe, he should be given a warning first. If he does it the second time, then he should be given a chance to repent, or ask for to apologize, right? If he does the third time, I mean, in modern times Muslims have now diversity of opinions, that if he does the third time, then the had punishment can be implemented, of capital punishment can be implemented. But there is also another.
And you're wondering why people have this kind of opinion,
But there,
negative opinions about Islam.
yeah, but hear me out. There is also people like us, the moderates, right? We give the argument of strategic migration as well, that before implementing the had punishment, if Logicked is in a country like let's say Syria or Saudi Arabia, Iran, and if he starts insulting religion, and before implementing the had punishment, we can make a strategic migration. We can ask the foreign ministry of Canada or USA or UK that, hey, this guy is causing trouble in our country, this is not in our laws, so probably you people should take it, right? So this is another argument that modern Muslims give, and you need to catch up with all the arguments Muslims are giving, because Muslims in this modern era, I think, are probably the most geniuses in terms of religion and philosophy, right?
But the most what?
Geniuses in terms of philosophy and religion, because all the debates you see, I mean,
Because they're still restricting speech in those countries.
Let him talk for a second. I want to hear what he's saying.
Yeah, people like Muhammad Hijab, Sabur Ahmad, all these kind of, in all the debates you see, Muslims are, catching up to this thing that, hey, although we defend these red lines, but there are long term benefits in, defending these red lines. Whereas you people were always like, oh, we are liberals, and now we are seeing that, liberalism is now even worse than what we used to believe in, right? So you can see the ramifications.
So that was a lot of rambling, but the point is you don't believe in capital punishment for insulting the Prophet?
No, I do believe it. I do believe it, but I say that there is a multifaceted view to it, right? We can implement.
I don't care what other people's opinions are. Ask what yours is. So you believe that capital punishment is the right answer.
Yeah, but there is a multifaceted and a
So
nuanced.
the Prophet Muhammad is gay.
Hmm.
Yeah, the prophet. Well, here's the thing. Apparently, he's against free speech, which is.
Were you trying? Were you trying to get a reaction out of me?
Foreigners are bad.
No, I'm not
I
against free
think he
speech.
probably is. I don't think it's.
I'm not against free speech.
I don't think it's cool, but.
So
But
this
the
is
thing
where we have a
you can't-
problem. Go ahead.
You can't you can't give them a pass just because they're letting foreigners take an easy way out because they don't know better. If you say something, here's the liberal point of view. Liberalism has gotten worse because people are trying to control us more using their religion.
Yep.
Liberals just want to do whatever the fuck they want following the law, and it's none of your business. They just want to be left alone and do things.
No, even
They can go to the library and read their book. They can
No,
dress
no,
up
no.
as a woman if they want to, and it's none of your business.
Whip
And
script-
your law from your book has nothing to do with it.
no, don't be so stupid, Web Scribble, because even liberals come up with the argument that there is restricted speech to that there is a thing like restricted speech, right? Even liberals will make the argument. For example, in a liberal country, can a person like XYZ start promoting communist ideas? Can a person like XYZ start promoting Sharia law? The liberals will say no.
Yes, they literally do that all the
you
time.
can. You can do
They do
both
that
of those
all
things.
the time.
Both of those things. Both
I
of
see
those
that
happen
shit
on college
every
campuses.
day.
Name any country. Name any country.
You can, and they don't get
Canada,
arrested.
USA, UK,
Oh, come on.
Germany.
Admittedly,
In
admittedly,
USA.
there are some places that have hate speech laws.
Yeah. Yes.
Some places promote Sharia. There are
No.
American Muslims who promote Sharia. In USA, people, for fuck's sake, they had communists all over protesting in the streets. They were
No,
throwing
There is a
firecrackers at
communist
cops.
party in the U.S. that you can vote for.
Yeah, but hear me out.
Yeah, in Canada too. There's a communist party pretty much everywhere here.
Yeah, but hear me out. If your ideas starts to become in the public realm, just like we give the argument of apostasy and blasphemy, right? If your argument starts reaching the public realm to the point where I say, yeah, had punishment, Sharia law, will United States or Canada not start implementing the terrorist labels and banning me? Will they not do that? Trust me, they will.
You start attacking people, trying to terrorize them.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
If your argument,
Not find
Yeah,
these countries
if
which
you
will
start
not.
murdering people in the street for them insulting the prophet, yes, you can be labeled a terrorist because that's
Yep.
what you are by definition.
if your idea reaches public sphere to that level where it starts harming United States and Canada, they will never allow Sharia law or had punishments or yeah, right? We agree. So similar with Muslim countries, give Muslim that courtesy as well. That's all we say.
If you start committing murder, if you start committing murder of random people, yes, you might be labeled a terrorist and you might be put in jail. Yes.
That's
You
it.
seem to have a-
Not
you
a
seem-
courtesy. Stop
You
calling
seem
it
to
that.
have a hard time differentiating between saying something and doing something. You said that you were in favor of a capital punishment for people saying things. I don't care what the things are they say, but just for saying things, whether it's insulting the prophet, whether it's insulting Islam,
Hi,
whether
how are
it's
you doing?
insulting your mother, whatever. Just saying things results in a capital punishment.
Yes, but Rigel, right?
Hold it.
Yeah.
Hold it. You're not going to find that in these other countries. That's only where you've got these blasphemy.
No. Let me give you an example. Can you come up to somebody? Can you come up to Logic and say that, hey, I will kill you. I will kill you. Yeah. Yes. If you say that, you are just saying it, and if you don't commit the crime, yeah, you don't commit the
Sorry to
crime,
interrupt you, Tim.
yeah, that will be.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Are you leaving?
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm not.
I was saying that if you come up to Logic and say that, hey, I will kill you, now that will be labeled as a threatening statement, as a harassment, and all these kind of laws will be implemented upon you just on saying, even
Yes,
though you
because
didn't take the action.
indicating your intent to commit
Yep,
murder.
yep.
None of which
It's not
are a
about the
capital
word.
crime.
It's not about offending somebody.
I was just making the argument that
It's because you're proclaiming that you're about to commit a deadly crime.
yes,
Yes.
I was.
Not that you're about to say
Yeah,
something.
Rigel was saying. Rigel was.
If your imaginary friend is not murder.
Yeah.
If you came up and you said, "Hey, Logic, I'm about to insult your mom,"
Hmm.
nothing would happen.
Yeah. Hey, your mom's fat. Like, okay, I'm gonna go walk away where I don't have to listen.
And do you see the difference between
That's
insulting my mom?
Yeah, but what if Logic slapped you for saying that? Then what?
Well, then I probably
Capital
slap it back.
punishment. That's what you're in favor of.
No, I'm saying that if you come up to somebody and say that your
Am
mom.
I such a weak bitch? Look, am I such a weak bitch that you come up and make a your mom joke at me and I go, I'm gonna hit you? No, because I'm not a dumb little bitch. You're a weak little fucking bitch.
I was saying that I was just making the argument that if he slaps you, I mean, will you call that
Hypothetical.
will you call that action wrong? Will you call that action wrong, Rigel?
Yes, but it's not a capital crime.
Slapping someone for what they said would be wrong.
Yeah, so you are
It would be a
agreeing with
freedom of
me.
speech.
You are
Not
agreeing
telling
with me
you
that
to kill
using
my family
force
and
is
having a gun in his hand.
yeah, using force is
And
not.
guess what? I can tell Logic I'm gonna kill him. If we're playing Call of Duty and I say I'm gonna rape your sister, I don't get in trouble because nobody fucking means it.
We are discussing something else with Scribble.
This whole extreme punishment for minor offenses is not a hypothetical with Muslims. This is a very real thing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to France, a school teacher who got beheaded for showing a picture of the Prophet. Okay?
Yeah, I said that.
This is not a hypothetical. His head was removed from his fucking
Okay, Muslims give the argument, and hear me out now. These are top-notch arguments that Muslims give. In a black country, even forget black country, we have seen that US has faced racism and all these kind of things. Can you draw a black person like an ape?
Yeah.
Can you draw wouldn't be racist connotations attached and hate speech?
Yeah, you wouldn't get murdered for it, especially not by the government.
Yeah,
It
Muslim.
would not be a capital crime.
Yeah, but
That's not something that would result in a capital crime. Would it potentially be part of a hate charge? Possibly, depending on what you're doing.
Rigel, I don't think you are
If
aware.
the wrong person sees it, they might take it on you personally, and that starts a whole other discussion. But is that action a capital crime? No.
I don't think you know that United States of America, in terms of capital punishment, the world is dead even. Do you know that 50% of the countries believe in capital punishment, 50% of the countries do not believe in that capital punishment.
Capital punishment for what?
USA and UK actually agree with capital punishment.
For what?
Capital punishment for treason, treachery, and they have all their kind of labels for that. Terrorist.
For things that get people killed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah,
Muslims.
Because because you're killing someone who has shown that they are willing to get other people killed.
Psychologists argue that it's not just about what will kill. It's also about your values. Psychologists ask you. I argue that what are your values? They ask about this question. So when a fundamental value of a
What psychologists say has nothing to do with what the law is in the United States.
when Germany committed Holocaust against the Jews and all those kind of things, can you come up to a Jew and tell him in a crowded place where there are a lot of Jews and say that, hey, Germany did the right thing. What do you expect the crowd will do to you?
What does that have to do with anything? If they murder the person for saying that, they
Yeah.
should all go to jail.
Yeah, but Muslims say, and religious people say that incitement to violence is also a crime. Won't you agree?
Incitement to violence is legally a crime, yes. Incitement to violence as in go
Thank you.
kill that guy.
Thank you. So there
As
is no.
in go kill that, right? If somebody is commanding a crowd to go commit a murder, then they would be considered to be inciting violence. If someone says a meaty thing to you, that is not inciting violence. If you choose to respond violently, that's on you. You were not incited.
Yeah, but there is a question of values I was talking about. That if you come up to a black person and call him and draw his picture like.
I don't care about values. I'm saying that if you call saying something mean incitement to violence, you're just ignoring the actual meaning of those words and the definition of that term in law.
Okay, let me give you another example, right? Because you people are acting, Islam is very harsh and we are very liberal.
No, I'm saying that you saying you want to murder people for saying things is stupid.
By the way, if
You personally, I'm not talking about Islam, I'm talking about you. You're a fucking idiot.
do you know about
You are a fucking idiot. And you're a weak, little, easily offended bitch because you're like, I'm gonna kill you for saying the mean thing that my prophet is gay.
I didn't say that. By the way, I didn't say that. You are
You said that you want people murdered for it.
No, I didn't say that. I said
Yes, you did. You said you want capital punishment for it. That's murder.
yeah, but there is a process to it. I said that if it
Yeah, so you want people to go through a process and then be murdered.
what do you have to say about the US drone strikes that kill Muslims on the argument that they are
If there's
terrorists?
unjustified drone strikes on civilians, yeah, I think it's bad.
Yeah.
And you think people should be murdered for saying things.
No, not for saying things.
Yes, for saying things. Capital punishment for insulting the prophet. Murdered for saying things. Yes.
there are certain things now you have to understand our side of the argument. You have to understand our side of the argument. This is a deep rooted argument. If you
And you have to understand the murderer's feelings.
if you allow in Muslim majority country where people are adherents to Prophet Muhammad, or they have their values are linked to that, right? So in a Muslim majority country, saying some things can have that element of inciting a violence among the public, right?
No, that's not incitement to violence. Incitement to violence is telling people to commit murder.
Can you go into the streets of Washington?
No, that's what incitement to violence is. That is what those words mean. If you want to say something else, say something else.
Can you go to the streets of Washington promoting ideas like racism, mass crowd?
Yes. That is not incitement to violence. You will not be arrested for incitement to violence.
Take a look at our
You will,
history.
actually.
We've still got KKK rallies that still happen today, and they are legal.
Yes, they're legal. You can have a Nazi rally right now, and it will be legal.
But is it a good thing?
It doesn't matter. It's legal. You won't be killed in the street. You're advocating that they should be murdered by process. I'm not.
Doesn't the police intervene
Part of
every
the
time?
whole freedom of speech thing. It's
Yeah.
People have something they want to say.
Can say things you don't like. And you don't murder them for it like a fucking animal.
But they do kill people on drone strikes and all these kind of things, and you you just say I'm against that, right?
Going from hold on.
Yeah.
Going from person says thing that you don't like to drone strikes. You're all over the field on this.
I'm saying
This is very different
drone
things.
strike also kill people, right?
Saying something you find insulting to actions of war.
Do you know, Rigel? Do you know?
Unrelated things.
Do you know that capital punishments that Muslims have done for blasphemy are so negligible, and drone strikes that have actually killed Muslims are 1,000 times more?
Whataboutism. It's, oh yeah, I'm bad, I'm advocating murder, but what about you? What about, not only what about you, what about the government that has nothing to do with you? I'm not even American, I'm a Canadian.
By the way,
Those deaths from people who spoke out against Islam are not fucking negligible. Those were people with lives that are just as important as the lives that you're so upset about losing, which I'm with you. Palestine is getting their shit fucked, and it's not okay. Those deaths are just as important. But you can't say that these deaths are negligible, because
Yeah, and you can't say, well, America, you can't say the American government killed somebody, therefore I'm going to advocate for random people who I haven't met who didn't do anything to get murdered for their speech. And there's no connection there.
They're both
There's no
bad.
logic there. It doesn't follow at all. There's literally no relationship.
But even in Muslims would argue that even if you insult Prophet Muhammad in a Muslim majority country, you wouldn't be killed. Yeah, right. You wouldn't be straight away killed. I mean, this kind
You
of
just said they
Not
should.
straight away.
yeah, this kind of caricature.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah, you're trying to make
Killing me
excuses.
is not a courtesy. Not killing me isn't a courtesy. It's doing the right thing. So saying like, oh, you know what, this is your first offense. We're not jumping straight to killing you. We're gonna give you a bunch of chances. You're here visiting, maybe you don't know better. We'll let you leave and go somewhere else.
yep.
That's fine, but you still would kill them if they did it again.
Yeah, but
The fact that it's on the books at all is bad enough.
in the modern times, actually, Muslims have made the argument of strategic migration as well. That before implementing the Hud punishment, that we keep that Hud punishment as a mental deterrent, not to implement it every time, just as a deterrent. And we will apply strategic migration instead of implementing the capital punishment. So, what do you have to say for that?
Well, do you
That's
understand?
not your. Hold on. That's not your position.
That is my position. That is my position.
No, it isn't. You said you want capital punishment by process.
Yeah, capital punishment is also present. Strategic migration is also
Yes,
present. Why cannot
your
Muslims?
position includes capital punishment for speech.
Yeah, but what is wrong with having a multifaceted view? Capital punishment keeps it as a mental deterrent of keeping a society in check in terms of,
No,
hate speech.
It does not. It is proven that extra harsh punishment does not deter.
No,
crime.
no. By the way,
Yes.
no.
Go
Matter
look
if
into
it
that.
deters it or not. That's not really the point.
And it doesn't deter it for what it's worth. We have studies on that. We know that harsh punishment does not deter crime.
No, no. Actually, there are studies of harsh punishments are better than these keeping persons in jail. There are even studies about
Go
that.
find
You
it.
know, if you kill the
Go
person,
find
it can't be offense. That is a
Oh,
true
wait.
statement.
It doesn't matter if it's. It doesn't
That is
matter
true,
what the
but
effect
numbers
is.
show.
It doesn't matter what the effect is. I just want to stick to the point. You advocate murder for speech.
No, I didn't advocate murder for speech.
Yes,
I
you
mean,
did.
what
You
kind of?
said capital
The fact that
punishment
it's- the
is
fact that
an
it's
option that
there.
should be left open.
You're okay with it being there.
Yes.
You're advocating.
You're advocating murder for speech.
United States of
If
Even
capital
if
punishment,
you
if
say
you
we
think
should-
capital punishment should be an option, you're advocating murder for speech. You're advocating for violence.
But challenging people's values and saying hurtful things to people in public. I mean, that society,
Kind of little bitches,
that society can turn into
little baby.
anarchy as well, right?
You're confusing inciting to violence.
Well, here's the, well, how about this? How about this then? What if a bunch of people moved to a
Yeah.
Muslim majority country, overturned it, and instituted their religion? You can't say anything bad about Jesus now, or you'll get killed.
No, let me
Finally, when
give.
you control someone's opinion to be like yours, you're
Yeah.
completely discounting their
Yeah, you're
thoughts. They might
basically
not like them.
advocating.
It's
Dude,
their
you're basically
right.
advocating right now for what the Jews in Israel are doing to Palestine, because they took
not
over the
only-
country, they instituted their values, and they're upset at Palestine, and so they're doing what they're doing. You're arguing that they're right to do it.
No,
And they're giving them, and they're warning them before they're bombing them too. So it's the same excuse. Well, we're giving them an option to leave and never come back, and we'll leave them alone.
Yeah.
That's because they
You-
want the land, and it's
You are
not okay.
justifying that
You're
behavior.
doing the exact same thing.
no,
but
no.
on a smaller scale.
Let me give you another example.
Literally are.
Let me give you another example. If there are, imagine 1,000 people with a certain idea coming on the street, coming on the street, and another 1,000 people, coming on the
Why
street,
are they coming on the street? They should come in the bedroom.
promoting their ideas, just saying stuff. Like you always like to say this, just saying stuff, right? Promoting their ideas. Now, will you not intervene physically?
Can you repeat
Why
this?
would you intervene
1,000 people and they're
physically?
just saying what again?
They're just having conversations with each other.
No, no, no.
If they get violent, you should
If
stop
it,
them from being violent against
I don't think logic knows. I don't think logic knows how
I
you
didn't
know.
hear what you said.
Yeah, I don't think you know how crowds work. Crowds don't work like this, having arguments with
didn't
each other.
say-
Differing ideas, yeah, differing ideas. Crowd
I
work.
don't know what you're talking about because I didn't hear you.
Crowds that have a differing idea behave very differently. Mob culture results in killing. Mob culture results in killing. It's a reality.
Well,
It's
people should learn to fucking behave themselves then.
yeah, but when it comes to mob culture mentality, and when it comes to the social dynamics
Mob
at a
culture is not a thing. It's individuals acting like shit. The individuals should learn to control themselves and stop being children.
Let's get it more defined. When you say
There is
it-
no such thing as a mob. There are only people.
For example, in your example, you said they have differing ideas. Be more specific. Ideas about what? Are we talking about two different soccer teams?
no, I just gave you an example that
No. Specific. I want to hear specific.
yeah, I gave you an example in America, in a crowd of black people, and if you start come up, if 50 people come up and say that all of you are inferior, all of you are like monkeys, don't you think the black people will react in a very aggressive way, and probably it will result in killings? This is called the mob culture.
Are you saying that black people don't have self-control?
We have had very
Usually when that happens, killings don't result. There might be a fight, there might be some people yelling at each other and getting in their faces, but killings are very rare in those cases.
They are not.
Why are we treating these black people like they have no self-control?
They are not. Their killings are very in mob culture. This is actually called vigilantism.
Mob culture
Vigilantism.
is a thing. Individual behavior is a thing.
Vigilantism,
Mob
yeah.
culture doesn't exist.
Vigilantism is a reality. I mean, read about it. Vigilantism is a.
Vigilante is an individual.
It's a reality, but
A vigilante is an individual.
So,
It is one
we don't really
person.
have a widespread problem with people killing each other because
Yeah, we
they're
don't have a lot of vigilantism for one thing. Yeah,
And
but
if we
a
did, the
vigilante.
all I'm saying is, all I'm saying is,
You can't both talk at the same time.
yeah. Go ahead.
Alright, hold on, I'm about to drop off.
Okay, I'm going to mute you for a second while you do that. A vigilante is one person. That is not mob culture. Why do you jump to vigilantism?
You are right. You are right.
So-called mob culture. Mob culture is not real. Mob culture is individual people acting individually, and if individuals act shitty, that's because they individually act shitty.
You people are right. I'm not objecting to that. I wish there will be a world where there are not aggressive natured people. I wish there is that. But the real world is very different. You people got to have that in your head. The real world has aggressive natured people as well. If there is a crowded bunch of people and you start insulting them, if you start now listen, hear me out. Let me. If there is 1,000 people and you start insulting them and they have a view, there might be 2 or 3 that probably will kill you. Might be 900 people
Okay, so
that
let me
ignore
ask
you.
this thing.
Yeah,
I understand. Okay, let me ask you this.
yeah.
You're worried that if I go to 1,000 people and insult them, they might kill me, and therefore you think there should be a punishment implemented in law that says that after a process, I should be killed for saying it anyway. You're worried that I might get killed, so I should be killed.
Because we know about the mob culture mentality, because we know about the vigilantism reality, because we know, that's why we say that we should respect each other values. That is what Islam is all about. Respect each other values rather than
You're not
insulting
respecting
each
my
other.
values because I value free speech.
Yeah.
If I say something bad about your values,
What's wrong with
Literally everything you're saying here, Islamic response, it goes very deeply against our values. This is incredibly against our values.
By the way, if
Are we
you
justified to murder you?
if in a Muslim country, if you mock Prophet
If you
Muhammad,
came to Canada and said this to my face, would I be justified in murdering you?
Logic, hear me out. If
No,
in a
no, answer the fucking question.
what was the
bitch.
question? Yeah, what was the question? Again, repeat it.
If you come to Canada and you say these things to my face that go radically
I ap-
or by a process.
I appreciate liberals for that. I'm not saying that your ideology is a very bad ideology. I appreciate you
No,
for that.
you are saying things that are against my values. You're saying that if someone says something against your values, it should be an option to murder them. If you come to my country and you say this to my face, which goes radically against my values, am I justified in murdering you?
Are you justifying in murder?
If Muslims in my country speak like this in my presence, am I justified in murdering Muslims en masse?
But what type of idea am I talking about? You have to explain it a bit.
The idea that people should be murdered for their speech.
No, you said yeah, you said if I come to your country and I started saying that people should be murdered for speech, then you murder me. You are if
Yeah,
they-
correct. Am I justified in doing that?
and you murder me. Okay, if in your country, there are laws about, and that is why I brought about the Sharia law thing as well, right? In the beginning of the conversation. But if in your country you murder me, that's wrong. But that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. In my country, it will be wrong as well, because there should be at least 4 witnesses. You have to understand the Islamic perspective. It's in a
You're advocating murder right now.
it's in a public realm. It's in a public sphere. If in my country,
Oh, it doesn't not okay around in the public sphere. You're advocating government.
It's murder. It's murder
advocating
for
murder.
speech, and it's
For
wrong.
speech.
It doesn't matter who you're killing. It doesn't matter what they said. You don't kill people for what they say.
let's say,
Hear me out, to use your phrase. There's a sentence that you've said a few times, and that is that Muslim, Islam, whatever, is about respecting each other's. What was the phrase? Respecting each other's values?
yes,
Okay. There's a second part to that statement, and that is that as long as they agree with your own.
no,
Yes.
no.
Because that's exactly what you're saying.
Rigel,
You're saying that
Rigel,
power.
Rigel, do you know the
So hear me out.
yeah? Do you know about the word compatibility?
Yes.
So all religions have some things that are similar, even including atheism, including liberalism. They have things that are similar to us as well, Muslims as well, and all religions have something that are different.
It's called gullible people.
It's called compatibility. What is wrong with making the society compatible, that all of us respect each other values and live in a peaceful way, in a compatible way? What's wrong with that? There is nothing wrong with
If you
that.
respect each other's values,
Yeah.
then when somebody says something that you disagree with, you don't kill them for it. That's what respecting other people's values is.
I agree with it, but it depends upon, all countries have hate speech
No, it
laws.
doesn't depend
That's not
upon
true.
anything. If you kill them for it in any circumstance, after any amount of process, after any process, you are not respecting anything they've said or their values.
But
killing people for their speech is fascism.
we just dis-
Killing people for their
Plain and
speech,
simple.
killing people for their speech is incompatible with respecting the values of others.
no logic. Don't
It
be
means
so.
that you do not. It means that if you are willing to do that, if you think that's an option, it means you do not and cannot respect anyone else's values.
Not so
Because you
fast.
think that if they say something that offends you too much, you can kill them.
But you just agreed.
But God said
You just agreed that if I come to you and start, if I come to you and start threatening you that hey, I will kill you, wouldn't you intervene physically, or call the cops to
No.
put me in jail?
I'm going to defend myself, but that doesn't mean I get to agree.
no. If you run at me with a gun and point it at my head and say
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you, I'm going to shoot you.
Yep.
You're pointing a gun at me.
Very
But
good.
If you get on the internet and say I'm going to kill you, no
Yeah.
one's going to come to your house and arrest you and then kill you or force you to move.
Thank you.
Nobody's going to
Yeah,
do
no,
that.
I'm not gonna. What country are you in again?
The
I-
threat verbally is not.
I'm in Pakistan.
Country are you in?
Pakistan.
Okay, so yeah, if you say to me right now, I'm going to kill you. No, I'm not going to fly to Pakistan, track you down, and kill you. No.
Yeah, but I won't do that. I won't do anything like that as well. So what's the
Yeah,
difference?
but you want
And
to.
let,
No,
If I say the Prophet's gay, you want to. You
No.
want it to be on the table.
no. I actually
Yeah, you want the government to do it at least.
No,
You would love it if the government droned my fucking house.
don't logic. Muslims are not as, you think. There is an element of, persuading someone.
There's
There
no
is
element of anything. You say if somebody says something bad, we should have the option of murder them.
not everything is black and white.
When the Charlie Hebdo attack went down, did you cheer it or did you say it was the wrong thing to do?
Yeah, but I will ask you another question. I will ask you another.
Answer that.
Nahi,
Answer that.
first answer my question.
How did you feel about it?
Charlie Hebdo thing was, I don't know what it was.
If the U.S. government, if the U.S.
Islamic response.
Yeah.
Islamic response. Do you know what I mean by the Charlie Hebdo
Yes.
attack?
Yes.
Okay. When that occurred, did that sound like the right response, or did you think that was the wrong response?
Yeah, I think better response could have been given by Muslims. There is an element in the Muslim society that is very extreme. I agree with that. And by the way, we are the moderate voices. I feel very bad about it. We feel more bad.
He didn't ask, is there a better possible response? He said, how did you feel about that response?
We cannot, this is the tricky question. This is a gotcha question. Yeah, no, this is a gotcha question. I can ask you another gotcha question.
Did you smile or did you cry?
I didn't smile, nor did I cry.
How did you feel inside?
How old were you when that happened?
What kind of question is this, Logic? What kind of question is this? I'm 31 years.
Speaks to you as a person.
Yeah.
How did you feel inside?
I have felt that a better response could have been given. Not everything should be
Yeah,
responded.
but how did you feel about that response? Like, I understand.
Not very good.
A response to
Even
an
Salman
attitude
Rushdie,
of perfect
even on Salman Rushdie,
There could have been a better one, but was that one acceptable?
You might still kind of approve a little bit.
yeah,
You might think, hey, that wasn't really so bad. Maybe they could have done it better. Yeah, you think, okay, they could have done it better, but that wasn't so bad.
Somebody fill me in as to what that was, because I'm a little confused.
There was a mass murder in an office of a magazine where they didn't like that they had Prophet Muhammad on the cover, so they killed a bunch of the people in the office, and then they killed a bunch of people in the street randomly.
yeah, I condemn the Islamophobe narrative. I also condemn the vigilantism. I condemn both.
Let
Not
me
the
ask you,
vigilantism, not the vigilantism, the murder. Do you condemn the murder for speech?
No, in an office, who killed them?
I don't know, a bunch of Muslim guys were mad.
They killed them.
Yes.
Yes, they murdered like a dozen of them or something.
Yeah, I said I condemn the vigilantism. Muslims shouldn't take judge
Not vigilantism. Do you condemn murder for speech?
murder for speech. What kind of argument is this, Logic? I mean, come on. If they murdered,
Is that a no? Is that a no? Do you condemn murder for speech?
no, what did they murder them for? Right? What?
They put a cartoon Muhammad on the cover of a magazine.
Hmm. So I should. I should.
They killed 12 people.
Yeah, I condemn it. I condemn it because it's. I think better response can be given, and taking the action by your own hands instead of a process by a judge making the execution instead of. Obviously, I condemn it. So
can I ask you something then?
can I ask a question?
If it was if a government came to them after they made that post and sentenced them to death,
Hmm.
would that be acceptable because the government said it should happen? Instead of it being vigilantes, they're still dead. They're still getting killed for what they said. Do you think it would be okay if a government did the same thing, but just, made it painless, just shot them in the head, let's say?
So-
For lethal injection.
Yeah. So
For making that article.
Yeah. So for making that article, yeah. So again, it gets back to that point of challenging the values of a public, right? A big mob, a big public, and that is, yeah, that is where the hate speech laws and all those kind of restrictions come. The government, I told you that the government should make laws where instead of implementing Hud punishment every time, they should keep it as a deterrent, not implement it. They should keep it as a deterrent. Strategic migration can.
I don't know why you'd want to keep it as a deterrent when it doesn't work as a deterrent.
By the way, if you
You are currently challenging the values of a large public right now.
if you go to somebody's house, and outside the house it is written that there is a mad dog behind the wall. Will that not work as a deterrent?
Wait, are you characterizing Muslims as mad dogs?
No. I was making the argument of a mental deterrent.
Well, it sounds a lot like you're saying, all right, us Muslims, we want people that come to our country to not say bad things about Muhammad because we're
Yes.
very sensible about him and we respect him highly.
Yes.
And we just don't like that kind of speech in our country.
Yes.
So let us say, don't say bad things about Muhammad in our country. We're fucking crazy. We'll chop your head off. But they don't do it. We're
No.
not actually going to do it. We're just going to say that to scare them so maybe they won't say bad things. You think that's okay?
But in every country,
If it stops people from saying bad things about Muhammad, is it okay to say that you'll do horrible
yeah, but whip scribble, there is
Just to-
there is the there is the idea of even in academia, you see that if a student is not coming, if his attendance is short, they will not straight away kick him out of the school. They will first give him a warning. They will first give him a
You are going off into the weeds again.
Okay, just to be clear.
No, you
the
people
example
believe-
You just gave, hold on. The
Yeah.
example you just gave is an example of expulsion being an appropriate punishment for not showing up to your classes, right?
Yep.
After a warning,
Yep.
after other steps, and then it's an appropriate punishment.
Yep.
It's advocating expulsion for absence,
Yep.
just like you advocate murder for speech. Can you at least
Hate
do
speech.
that?
Hate speech that can hate speech that can transform to treason.
Speech
Hate
that
speech.
you do not like.
Hate speech.
That you do not like.
Hate speech. Treason.
Hate, that is not hate speech.
Well,
Hate
You gotta
speech
define
is-
hate speech.
saying Muhammad is gay is not hate
It's hate speech.
because there's nobody, you're not
According to a Muslim country, that's hate speech.
hate speech is advocating hate against a group of people. Again, you're using terms in ways that do not match their actual definition.
So hate speech was
Yeah, this alternates in every country, right? Hate speech. What is hate speech? This
No, you're
No,
speaking
it doesn't,
English.
because
It does.
Speaking English, we're going to have a discussion in English. If you say hate speech, it means a certain thing. If you don't mean hate speech, say something else. Use a different term.
I mean, if something is valuable to something, and you start
No,
challenging.
that's not what hate speech is. Hate speech is explicitly advocating hatred against a group of people.
maybe the word you're
Like,
looking
we
for
should
is
kill the Jews or something like that. That is hate speech. If you're telling people, hey, let's go to Israel and go kill these people on the corner of this street at 11 in the morning, that's hate speech.
Yeah, but no. It's not that simple. Come on, it's not that simple. If you even say that I don't like Jews, they will put you as a label of anti-Semitism, and they will say that they can implement hate speech laws on you. By the way, United States is the worst country.
Now you're into social justice.
United States is the
We're
worst.
talking about laws. We're talking about government-enforced laws. I
Rigel,
don't like
Rigel,
Jews all day long.
Rigel,
Stop. Just hush, hush. I
Rigel.
can say I don't like Jews, or I don't like Muslims, or I don't like white people, or I don't like black. I can say that all day long. That is not hate speech. That is not anti-Semitism. That is not actionable in a court of law.
Rigel, hear me out. Hear me out.
If I say, shut up. if I say, I'm going to grab a bat, I'm going to go out and start crushing skulls. I'm going to beat in every Jewish head I see. That is hate speech. That is actionable in a court of law.
Okay, now can I say something? Can I say
don't
something?
hate these people. I do not hate these people. I don't want to see Muslims killed. I don't want to see Jews killed. I don't want to see white people. or
Same
black
here.
people killed.
Same here.
I'm just trying to show you a difference between the two. I suspect that you're not actually trying to say hate speech, and you're actually wanting to say offensive speech.
Hate.
Things that people say that you find offensive.
Yeah. Can I say something?
Very, very big difference.
Okay. Can I say something now?
You may speak.
Thank you. Hate, hate speech. There is a lot of discussion about what is hate speech. In every country, there is a different definition of hate speech, and there is a different mode of implementation on what you should do on hate speech. On every social media platform, there is a different definition of hate speech. On every platform, there is, even on Logick's lodge, the lodge, there will be rules of what is hate speech and what is. So everywhere there are. Yeah.
Have you ever looked at the rules in here?
No, I haven't.
Say anything.
Yeah.
You can say literally anything.
Yeah, if you I'm now just reading. If you challenge a moderator or admin to ban, you don't whine if you get. Yeah, there are all there. You know, there are rules everywhere, Rigel. So
People get spam banned. They don't get banned for hate speech because that's stupid.
it's the same thing.
rules there,
Whiny
but
little bullshit.
It's the same thing, logic.
it's crazy that the countries you're advocating are the only ones that will kill somebody for the hate speech.
No, 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 no.
The
Whip
other
scribble,
places with different definitions will kill you.
whip
If
scribble,
you said something offensive to someone.
whip scribble. If a Muslim starts promoting hate speech in America, they can label you as terrorist. Muslims are labeled with terrorists all the time, and they will drone strike you, they will kill you, and they will justify it, and nobody will condemn it.
You will
So
not
this
be
goes
drone
both ways.
striked and killed. You will not be drone striked and killed by the American government.
It's happening right now.
Saying stupid shit in America.
It's
No, you
happening.
will not.
Yeah, not just in America,
If you
in
go into a
Afghanistan.
street in New York and say I hate Christianity and I think God should die, I'll say no one's gonna kill you. But maybe a crazy person in the streets of New York will. But that's because crazy people are everywhere.
Yeah, but
The
whip.
government's not gonna come and lock you up because you said it.
I agree.
Like,
Values are different
get
everywhere.
mad and the public will get pissy. But you know,
Psychologists will tell you values are different in every country, right? So every country have their
Yeah,
own.
yours are wrong.
yeah, yours are.
Well, yours are murder for speech, and you won't even own it.
Hate speech
Like
that
you're saying, you
no
keep
no
saying that our values are that we should murder people for their speech, but you won't actually say it in those terms because you think it sounds bad.
hate speech that leads to violence. Yes, that can be charged with capital punishment.
Well,
This is
well,
called
if
treason.
Someone says,
Treason.
if someone says Muhammad is gay, what violence does that incite?
Obviously, Muslims are not sort of people, right? There is diversity among Muslims as well. There are, if in a yeah. Now hear me out.
And
Here.
your kind of Muslim thinks that people should be murdered for saying things that are against your religion.
I mean, if you come up to me and say Muhammad is gay, I'll probably ignore you. But in a mob of 1,000 people, 3 or 4 might not, have the same reaction as
And that's okay with you?
So then shouldn't they be punished, not the person who spoke?
Are
Like
you
if somebody,
okay with the fact that people would do that in a crowd?
Yeah, but hear me out. Those laws.
Be like, well, he deserved it.
Yeah.
He said it in front of 1,000 people. Someone goes and kills him. He should have expected it. He had it coming.
Yeah, he was intentionally trying to incite violence, and violence can result in killing. Knowing the mob culture
that
mentality,
is not trying to incite violence. Again, you keep
person who
trying to
committed
say that
violence
it's trying
is
to
what
incite
you-
violence.
by the way, why would somebody go to a public to say Muhammad?
Inciting violence is explicitly saying to commit violence.
No,
Like
there,
what you're doing right now.
there are different definitions. Logic everywhere. There are different definitions to incitement of violence everywhere.
No, there aren't.
There are.
Leads to
No,
the
there aren't.
next
We
This leads to the next problem,
Yeah.
is when you have the mixing of cultures, we have people traveling all over the world. So when a person from a free speech part of the world, which is most of the world, goes to a country like Pakistan, they're in downtown Islamabad, and they want to interact with the public, if they're at all cognizant of where they are, they're going to know better, hopefully, than to do the things we're talking about, to just throw out insults against Islam.
By the way, can I make a bigger argument?
Stop.
Okay.
I'm not done. So now we have the person from the free speech part of the world goes to Pakistan. They know better than to open their mouths and say something stupid, hopefully. Then we have the other problem. We have the person who is a hardcore, the kind of Muslim that cut off heads because they drew a picture of the Prophet. We have that person who travels to and moves into the culture in a free speech part of the world, where the people don't know to walk on eggshells around this person. That's when the problem happens. That's what happened in France.
No, I like to react to that actually. Do you know why this is a more problem with the Muslims rather than the Western world? Do you know why?
Because y'all are sensitive fucking pussies.
No. Because Muslims know the English language, and you people do not know our language. This is the reason why. The Western world.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about that. Like,
Logic,
if you want to
logic.
talk about Jesus and talk shit all day, nobody cares. If you talk shit about atheism all day, nobody cares. It's only you guys.
By logic.
Only you. It's only you.
If you people learn our language, you people will find jobs here as well, right? This is,
Yeah, and we won't be sensitive little idiots when people are saying stupid shit. We'll just be like, well, you're stupid. You're talking dumbass shit.
by the way, can I make a bigger argument? But can I make a bigger argument? In the real world,
Good one yet. Go ahead.
yeah, in the real world, why cannot we take a compatibilist model? Because in UAE, in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia, there are people like you who are, immigrating to those countries as well, and they don't find any.
Killing people?
In Qatar, they don't find any problems coming to Muslim countries. Why? Because if let me make a bigger argument. What if
Because they know what not to say so they don't get murdered.
can't we come up with a compatibilist model that can't we live in a world where we respect each other values to the point that you can come to my country and I can come to your country?
Can't we just live in a world where if you say the wrong thing, I can kill you? Can't we just live in
I'm
that
sorry.
world? Can't we just be compatible in that way? If I come to
your
your place, you can
rule-
kill me too. It's okay. No. How about no? How about fuck that shit?
Nobody's killing you, Logic. Nobody's killing you.
The government requires that you kill people that say things you don't like, then you're incompatible with modern society.
Nobody.
Look,
Yeah.
if you want to execute people for their speech in Pakistan, I don't give a shit. I don't live in Pakistan. I'm legally barred from Pakistan by the Pakistan government already. But if you want to come to my country and kill people for their speech, fuck back home.
This is a very, I think, shallow way of portraying it. There is.
No, that's pretty thorough. That's pretty exactly perfect indeed.
According to us, you people use hate speech when you are insulting religion, right? Insulting religion in terms of
Yeah, then you don't know what the word means. Like, learn
Such as
English,
what?
man.
Give me an example. What are you calling hate speech that you've heard used?
insulting Prophet Muhammad, insulting Allah. So this
That
will,
is not hate speech.
yeah,
That's literally not hate speech. If you want to talk about it, use a word like offensive speech, if that's what you mean.
same thing. Just
No, not the same thing.
Same
That's
thing.
what we're telling you. There's two different terms for a reason.
So I'm going
If
to
you
throw
mean offensive
something back at you that you said earlier. You said the reason you don't understand is because you don't know our language.
for
That's what's
Muslim,
going on here.
yeah, for
Yeah,
Muslim,
you
for
don't know the language. We're telling you the clarification of hate speech is one thing and offensive speech is another. And you keep saying hate speech because you think that has emotional impact, which, by the way, it doesn't. There's no SJWs in here.
for a
But
for a Christian, or for a Muslim, if you insult Jesus, he will hate that comment, wouldn't he?
that's not what hate speech is. Hate speech is not speech you hate. Hate speech is inciting hatred against definable groups of humans.
Okay, you can go with that, but that's the same thing.
Offensive. You mean offensive speech. Speech that you don't like, that offends you, is offensive speech. That's what we're telling you. Use that term.
Okay, offensive speech, same thing. Offensive speech.
No, not the same thing. Stop saying it's the
Completely
same thing.
different.
Offensive speech is not hate speech. Hate speech is a very specific term for a very specific thing. It does not mean hateable speech.
I
It
said-
does not mean speech that you hate.
I meant
It means speech that incites hatred explicitly, just like incitement to violence means speech which explicitly incites violence, as in you are telling people directly, go kill.
no, come on.
That's incitement to violence.
This is such a shallow way.
Saying something a mob does not like is not incitement to violence. You are not explicitly telling them to kill, or
Okay.
to hurt, or to commit violence.
Okay, by the way,
Nor is it hate speech, because you're not inciting hatred.
okay, by the way, let me flip you an example. You said about the Charlie Hebdo example
Just
that
to be clear, though, can you tell me that you understand what I've just said?
Yep,
And
I
that you
understand.
will and that you will use the correct terms from now on. Offensive speech, and that's really it. You're just talking about offensive speech. When you say incitement to violence, you just mean offending people.
okay, let's
And
go
when you
with
say
that
hate speech,
logic.
You just mean offensive speech, right?
Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Offensive speech, hate speech is a different thing. Okay, I was saying the end result in terms of incitement to violence for offensive speech can also be the same thing. Let me give you an example. Uh, the the Muslims who killed in the Charlie Hebdo thing. Do you think what punishment should have been given to those Muslims who killed the Charlie Hebdo thing?
They were
They should have been charged with murder.
So you promote killing as well?
Terrorism, probably.
You promote killing as well? Kill, 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 kill. That's what all you people know about.
Nobody here said they should be killed. They should be
No, I
charged
would have
with
put them in
murder.
prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. The punishment here for murder isn't killing them.
But now,
All of them were killed. I think one or two were taken in and arrested.
Yeah, they were killed because the police had to defend themselves and others.
yeah, but now hear me out.
They were rampaging around the street murdering people, and so they got shot because they were in the middle of killing a bunch of people.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would say probably they should go to prison. If you said that they should get the death penalty, that's because they're murderers.
Hmm.
Because they were killing people, not because they were
weren't
meanie
saying
faces who
bad
said
things
meanie
about
things.
Okay, logic.
Running around saying, hey, they weren't running around saying, hey, Charlie Hebdo, your mom's fat.
Okay, logic.
They were murdering people.
Yeah.
En masse.
Yeah,
1,000 people.
yeah. You said that,
See the difference?
but you.
of proposing the death penalty for a murderer versus proposing the death penalty for a guy who called your mom fat.
Yeah, but let me challenge you now for a second. You said that they shouldn't be murdered. You will probably put them in prison. Will you? Yeah. Will you condemn if they are murdered?
If they're randomly murdered, like with
Will you condemn it? Will you condemn it?
Like,
Yeah.
when it's not a defense situation, yes, of course.
Will you condemn it?
Yeah, if they're
Yes, if they're
going
randomly
into the
murdered,
court,
yeah,
if they're going
we
into the
condemn them.
courthouse and someone shoots them, that's bad. And we get on the internet and say that's bad. You shouldn't have walked up to him. He was awaiting trial.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have killed.
Okay.
He killed people and he's bad.
Now, if they're in the
Doesn't mean
middle,
you can kill.
What if the
they're in
court?
the middle of running around heavily armed with automatic weapons, murdering people in the streets, and they're killed for defense,
Okay.
or like, I have to save people's lives right now, that's fine. But if they are killed just randomly after that, if they're arrested, taken to court, and then someone shows up with a gun and shoots the guy dead right there, I'll be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Okay. What if the court? What if the court gives the verdict of murdering them? Then what? Will you agree, or will you still condemn the court?
Yeah, I'm not too into the government.
Yeah, yeah. Now you are not too into it, but you ask the same question to us. It's a tricky question. It's a gotcha question, right? It's a gotcha question.
You're conflating violent people who set out to do violent things,
Yep.
specifically against people who did not deserve it, number one.
It's an ideology thing, Rigel. Ideology thing. Yeah.
They are a physical threat against the safety of the society. Whether they're put to death or whether they're arrested, put into a jail cell, either way, they have to be stopped. But
Yeah,
this
they
is
have to
very
be,
different than
they
a
have to be
sentence.
separated from society because they are an open threat. They're running around murdering people.
Yeah, but I.
For what? For what, by the way?
But you are looking very naive. You are very naive that if somebody has murdered someone and the court says that this person should be killed, logic is saying that he will actually condemn the court.
It's bad.
Why? Why should I?
Yeah, we don't believe in capital punishment.
You know, this is extreme type of liberalism. This is not a very good liberalism. If somebody has murdered someone, ask the family.
You're trying to, you're playing these word games, which is what every fucking apologist does every time. Oh, you're against the death penalty. Oh, but you're for the death penalty here. Like, these are different situations completely.
Yeah, and
These aren't even related. This is person said thing I don't like, so the mom should kill him.
I was.
These guys are running around. Shut up. Shut up. These guys are running around with machine guns, shooting people in the face, and you're somehow trying to make that sound like the same thing as just being insulting. It's not. How did your brain get so fucking broken? I don't know.
I'm not.
Murder in the first place. You were pro murder. You just didn't like that. That was vigilantism.
Yeah.
If they were endorsed by the fucking Iranian government or something, you'd probably be like, yeah, okay, well they have government backing to go kill all the Charlie Hebdo.
No. I would have still said that the government should have given them a warning. A government should given them a warning instead of straight away, implementing the.
Okay, so let's say Pakistan, right? Let's say the Pakistan government gives a warning to Charlie Hebdo, right?
They cannot.
And then what? What's the next step? What's the next step?
They cannot because they are different. They are a different nation, right?
So if the Pakistan government endorsed the terrorists to go and murder them, you would condemn that?
No, no, never, 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 never.
All you condemned was vigilantism. But at that point, if they're working for the Pakistan government as agents of the Pakistan government, as military agents, they're no longer vigilantes, correct?
Guys, can I raise my
No, they are still vigilant. It will be like for the Canadian government, it will be like foreigners have invaded our country and attacked our country. Their narrative will be very different to the Pakistani narrative, right? This is a different situation altogether, right?
What does narrative have to do with it? It's saying
Everything,
vigilantes.
everything.
I'm saying if they're not vigilantes, if they're working for the Pakistan government, do you still condemn it?
If they are not vigilantes, the Pakistani people secretly send them to commit. I think that's wrong. That will be wrong as well because they are not in their jurisdiction, right? So that's wrong as well.
Okay, so let's say that Charlie Hebdo's offices were in Pakistan.
Now the situation is different, right? Yeah.
Now if the Pakistan government
you
sends
can
terrorists
totally
to shoot
kill
all
them.
now if the Pakistan government sends terrorists to shoot those people, now what?
Sends a terrorist, but sending a terrorist, and Muslims don't believe in terrorism whatsoever, right?
Well, what happened with Charlie Hebdo was terrorism. Do you believe that?
Yes, because vigilantism is a form of terrorism, right?
Okay, now let's say that instead of calling them terrorists, we call them military agents.
Hmm.
The police.
Yeah.
Or the police.
This is what This is what America does, right?
In the office.
This is what America does. Yeah.
Under Sharia law, with the approval of the Pakistani government, do you condemn it then?
Yeah. This is a question.
In their offices, the police run in, shoot them all, and leave. Do you condemn it?
Yeah. My condemning will not do anything. But yeah, this is the question. If in law there is provision of actually killing them, I would still say that the law should be amended, right, in such a way that a first warning should have been given, at least two warn.
Say they warned them. What's the next step after the warning?
Yeah.
Before murder, what's the next step?
Yeah, first time they should be warned. Second time they should be asked. If they do it again, second time, they should be asked to repent. If they do it the third time, then strategic migration option should be applied instead of implementing. This is the moderate view.
But that's not your view. You said
And it doesn't include killing. Logic. It doesn't include killing whatsoever
hold on. You said that you're on the side that capital punishment should be applied.
as a mental deterrent.
The moderate view
As a mental deterrent.
migration.
Mental deterrent. I kept saying that. Killing capital punishment as a mental deterrent.
Right, it's on the table.
Yeah,
It is an option. If you never do it, it's not a deterrent.
it is.
So it's not.
Because
It's not. If it's literally never done, it is not a deterrent.
but it is never done. I mean, how many cases have you ever heard of killing for blasphemy, killing for minute, minuscule?
Matter. This is
In Muslim
philosophical.
countries,
This is philosophical. We're talking about your opinion.
Mental deterrent does work. I just gave you the dog example.
that I only have a couple minutes before I get back to the store. Can I bring my point up now?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
By the way, it's a good discussion.
Okay. So you, let me ask you this. I just want to kind of figure out the limits of what this punishment for saying something that goes against Islam in a place with Sharia law. If somebody comes out, if I'm Christian and I live in some place with Sharia law, you can pick a place, and I come out and I say, Muhammad is a false prophet, Jesus is the Messiah. Does that count as whatever you would call it hate speech, or does that count as one of the things that would be punished?
By the way, this language doesn't have any abusive elements, so neither insulting elements. So there is no. This is just criticizing language, right? So criticizing language is allowed in Islam, right? You can criticize Islam.
What if you criticize Muhammad by saying, Muhammad was gay, I don't like that?
No, that is insulting. That is insulting. But
What if I said Muhammad Muhammad married a child. Would I be allowed to say that?
Uh, no. Yeah, I think this is a different way of saying that he's a pedophile, right? Because I know these elements of how language works as well. So I don't think that this kind of language will also be tolerated, because it is going towards pedophilia anyways, right?
But is it true?
Wait,
yeah.
wait, hold on. What is the difference?
Regardless,
What is worse? Hold on. What is worse? Being gay or a pedophile, or being a false prophet? In Islam, what is worse?
I'd be willing to bet that if I say
All are worse. All are worse. All are equally worse.
I probably would be punished. I'd be willing to bet money.
All are worse.
What is worse? Being gay or being a false prophet?
By the we do not believe that there is a word like gay, or there is a thing like gay. We don't believe in that anyways.
Okay, doing gay actions, right? Fucking a guy in the ass.
Yeah, no.
What is worse? What is worse? Doing that or being a false prophet?
Yeah, you mean doing homosexual acts, not gay acts, because we don't believe in that word anyways.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Homosexual acts.
Homosexual acts, or rape in 4 witnesses with evidence, death penalty, capital punishment.
Okay, that's not the point. What is worse? That or being a false prophet?
Both are worse. Both are major sins, right?
So if I call Muhammad a false prophet, you're saying that's not insulting, but if I call him homosexual or say he did homosexual acts, that is insulting, even though they're both major sins. So what is the distinction?
No. The first question was that according to your religion, you believe that Muhammad is a false prophet, right? That's the narrative.
Yes. So if a Christian in your country says Muhammad is a false prophet, you don't consider that insulting, even though it's accusing Muhammad of a major sin.
In my country, no, in my country it's a different, but even in my country,
No, in your
yeah.
country. We're talking in your country. If a Christian in your country says Muhammad is a false prophet, Jesus is Lord.
He can say that, but in a setting of a debate or a discussion, he can say that.
Okay, and in a discussion, can he say Muhammad had homosexual sex with 5 men?
Yeah, now this is insulting language now, and in discussion.
Why? Because it's both of them are accusing Muhammad of a major sin.
Lo-
What's equal gravity?
Logic. I said there is a difference between criticizing language and insulting language. Saying that Muhammad is a pedo.
and both
Yeah, saying that Muhammad is a.
are merely, and both of these merely accuse Muhammad of a major sin.
Saying
One
that.
of them you say is insulting. One of them you say is criticizing, and I'm failing to see the difference because they're both identical. Just the sin concerned is swapped out. You're using a different sin.
Yeah, saying that I don't like.
Exactly the same sentence. Muhammad is a false prophet. Muhammad is a homosexual.
Yeah.
Literally the same sentence.
No. There is.
Yeah.
There is a difference between euphemism and inflammatory language. Saying that I don't like logic is very different to logic is a abusive language, right? So that is very different. Saying that Muhammad is a pedophile, it is very different to asking that, hey, I heard that he probably married someone who was a very younger age. Is it true?
So
This is very different. This is very different.
Muhammad committed the major sin of homosexuality, homosexual act. Muhammad committed the major sin of being a false prophet.
Okay.
They're identical. They're exactly.
Yeah, you can say that. You can ask that question, but in a not non-insulting way.
What's not an insulting
Well,
way?
I don't. I would not.
If I say, according to my religion, Muhammad had homosexual sex.
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll ask for proof that where did you hear this?
No, I thought this was insulting to even ask such a question.
No, in this setting,
Understanding the distinction.
yeah, in this setting, it's allowed to ask these questions. There is nothing wrong with that.
if you showed a Muslim proof that Muhammad was a pedophile, they wouldn't believe it.
If a
So
Christian,
it doesn't matter if you show them proof.
I'm really not understanding this though. If a Christian just randomly walking around in Pakistan, right, says, I believe Muhammad was a false prophet, you don't consider that a problem. If the Christian walking around randomly in the street says, I believe Muhammad was a homosexual.
That's a problem, right? That.
Why? It's no different. Both of them is accusing Muhammad of a major sin.
If a Christian
That's
says
all
that,
either of them are. If these sins are truly the same, then why are they
And the
different?
punishment for them is the same in your religion too.
Yeah.
The punishment for being a false prophet is death. And the punishment for homosexuality is death. So they are pretty much equal.
Yeah, they're exactly the same. They're both major sins. And in both cases, all you've said is, I believe Muhammad committed a major sin. That's all you've actually said.
if
So
it,
why in one case is it worthy of the death penalty, and in the other case it's not?
if a Christian says that according to his religion he thinks that Prophet Muhammad is a because this question had connotations that if he just says that Muhammad is a false
No,
prophet,
no connotations.
yeah, no,
No
if
connotations.
if
Just
he
simple statement of that sentence.
that if Muhammad is a false prophet,
Muhammad is a false prophet.
that can be labeled as offensive speech as well. But if he says that according to his religion Muhammad is a false prophet, then there is a different tone to it, different narrative
Why?
to it,
It's literally the same thing. It's still him saying Muhammad is a false
because
prophet.
the setting is different. It's like in religious.
No, the setting is not different. The setting is identical. The statement is
But
identical.
I think my premise has been set. I wanted to know, would someone get in trouble if you say Muhammad is a false prophet in those countries? And the answer is yes. Under
Yes,
Sharia
yes.
law, you cannot criticize a religion. My next question is, if you go to a Christian, like,
You can criticize in a setting,
where
yeah.
does it stop? Am I going to get in trouble for saying it, or will I get in trouble for thinking it? If a bunch of people know that I think Muhammad is a false prophet, but they didn't go out and say it, I mean, people aren't going to like it, but the government's not going to come after me, right?
Yeah, setting is very important as well, right? I mean, nobody will actually go into the public and start saying, "Oh, Muhammad is a false prophet," or they will always find a way of debating or discussing it with somebody of their mindset, right? Just like we are doing right now.
Perhaps, but if somebody goes and does that, they get in trouble. Do you think it's okay that if you went, let's say you come to America, and someone says, oh, are you celebrating Jesus' death day today? And you're like, oh, well, actually, I believe that Jesus was not the Messiah, and that the Prophet Muhammad was the right guy or whatever. Is it okay if they punish you for saying that? Because it's the same thing as someone else saying Muhammad was a false prophet.
No.
Saying Jesus wasn't the guy, or you're saying Muhammad wasn't the guy.
Yeah, you now explained the context, right?
For voicing that they don't believe the same thing that you do.
Yeah, you explained the context that if they on a Christmas or on they start inquiring Muslim about it. If somebody is inquiring you about
It
something.
doesn't have to be on Christmas. If you, let's just say you go to the street unprovoked and you say, Jesus was not the Messiah, he was a
Yeah.
minor prophet. Isn't that, I don't know if that's what you guys
Yeah, this can be offensive. This can be offensive speech, to them. But by the way, we do believe in Jesus as Messiah.
Maybe able to kill you for it after due process?
Muslims actually believe in Jesus as Messiah, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the full extent of it.
Yeah, Muslims don't believe Jesus as God. They believe him as Jews don't believe Jesus as Messiah. Right?
Well, what if you come to New York and we have a rule that says you can't say things against our religion, and you say that Muhammad was a real prophet and everything he said was right and we should follow his ways. And we punish you with capital punishment because you said something that goes against our values. Is that reasonable if we give you a warning first? We tell you, hey, if you say Muhammad is a good guy again, or he's the prophet, we're going to kill you. You can leave if you don't like it. Do you think that's an okay way to run a society in the 2020s?
Okay, now that's a different type of a question again. Do you know that?
It's not a different type of question because it's exactly what you said is okay. We can, if someone says something that goes against our values, and it's generally something that people are disgusted by because it goes against
No, Web Scribble.
believe and hold dear to their heart.
You need to understand.
Warn them.
Yeah,
We
you.
can make them leave, and we can tell them we'll kill them if it'll scare them off.
Okay, you need to understand the phenomenon of universalist ideology. Do you know about that?
I don't think I've had
Let me explain. Let me explain.
asking you if you would let them.
Let me explain. Let me explain. Now let me explain. Let me explain. Please let me explain. Suppose there are flat earthers, a country named flat earthers, and suppose there is another country of named spherical earthers, right? Just give them these names. If you go to the flat earthers and they say that, hey, we won't allow those people to come in who are spherical earthers, now will you tell them that it's wrong, or will you say, no, you flat earthers, you are right, we shouldn't come into your country and say that, hey, we are spherical earthers? You will keep your ideology, but you will probably accept their laws as well, but you will keep your ideology.
Are the flat earthers coming into spherical earthers world and killing them if they draw pictures of the globe?
I said that as a Muslim, I would obviously say that Christians should convert to Muslims, and these Christians.
No. This was flat earthers versus globe earthers.
Yeah.
I asked you, does this scenario involve the flat earthers going into the globe earthers side of the house and killing them?
What?
Because if they do, then the globe earthers have the right to defend themselves.
That's a weird analogy, right?
No, it's really not. Because we just
I'm not
discussed
entirely
Charlie
sure.
Hebdo.
Oh, no, that
If you guys did not interact with the rest of the world, if you did not
no. Web Scribble was saying, Rigel.
countries, if you did not have
No.
tourists coming through your country, if you weren't attacking people outside your country because they drew cartoons of the prophet, if you stayed to yourselves and you just believed in Allah and you did all the Muslim things you wanted to do, nobody would care.
No, Rigel. Right.
Don't care.
Web Scribble was saying that ideologically you say that offensive speech. For religion, Muslims can execute Christians if Christians start saying that Muhammad is so and so, right? So he said, will you endorse if the Christians put the same rules against you in a Christian country? I said that obviously I'll say no, because I'm a Muslim, I believe in a universalist ideology, and then I gave the spherical earthers versus the flat earthers argument.
Wait, so I'm sorry. So you're saying you understood the question very well.
Yep.
So you got what I was saying.
Yes.
You're saying it's not okay if the Christians do the same way the Muslims.
Because I believe in a universalist ideology. All religions believe in universalist ideology.
Why is it okay? If that's not very universalist, if the Muslims can do it, and then the Christians can't do the same rules for their religion.
Because we believe Christianity is wrong.
What he means is that universally Muslims are right and Christians
Yes,
are wrong.
yes, logic.
Go for Muslims.
Yes.
So we're back to what I
that's
said
just
before.
bullshit. You don't
That's what I
get
said
to
before.
decide.
You respect other people's values as long as they agree with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my answer to you is I don't give a fuck what you believe. You don't get to kill people for disagreeing.
You are also universalist, Web Scribble, then. You are also universalist.
Muhammad is the prophet and I'm going to hell. You're still fucking evil for killing people for saying that you're wrong. It doesn't matter if you're right. Your religion could be, I could be going straight to hell or whatever the Islamic version is. But
And all I
if you
can
kill
say
someone
is
because you
there's
agree
a
with
big reason why there's a big old reason why people have negative opinions of Islam. You call it Islamophobia. Well, the problem is once you start grilling Muslims, an awful lot, a disconcerting number of them are pro-murder for speech
No.
or for deconverting.
I do want to give him credit though. In America, especially, a lot of Muslims don't think that way.
Yes.
They
And
themselves, they'll preach. If you ask them, they'll say, "Let me show you the wonders of what our religion can offer."
and on a good note, yeah.
Comforting. I'm not concerned with those guys.
And on a good
Millions, over half of, I would say, probably 95% of Muslim people are totally normal. They have a 9 to 5. We're not worried about those guys.
yes.
This isn't something against Muslim people, okay? This is against something that's written in the book that is followed in some of these countries.
Yeah, some extreme versions of Muslims, right?
Just so
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like we're attacking you for who you are.
I know, I understand. And on a good note, I would also say that, I believe that there is compatibility among all of us, among all the human beings, whether liberals, atheists, agnostics, Muslims, Christians. There is compatibility among all people. Muslims should understand, your sensitivities. People like Logicked, Rigel, WebScribble, we should understand, try to understand your sensitivities. You people should try to understand our sensitivities as well, right? We just say that.
I have no compatibility with people who are pro murder for speech. Zero.
Again, it will turn into that universalist mindset again. I'm saying that why cannot we.
I don't care what your universalist ideas you have. I have nothing in common with you, and I don't want to, and I want nothing to do with you. If
No.
you're pro murder for speech,
No,
I don't
no.
want you living near me. I don't want you having any influence over society, and I don't
That
really
is
give a
not
shit.
compatible with morality.
No, it's not
Yeah.
compatible at all. It has no place. And just like fuck off with that.
By the way, if I come to you,
Your logic,
I have
your
nothing.
logic.
if I come to you, I will probably offer you a tea or a coffee. I don't. I mean, do I sound violent? Do I sound violent?
You'll offer me a tea or a coffee while you talk about how I should die.
No, no, no.
Yes, yes. That's what you've been doing.
You've talked a few times about compatibility,
Hmm.
and that's a good thing, if I'm understanding the word compatibility right.
Yep.
But anytime you bring a different, different groups of people who have very different ways of viewing things together, if you're going to get them to live together in some kind of a peaceful way, compromise
Yep.
on all sides has to happen.
Yep.
And that means taking off the extreme edges of the different groups.
Yes.
In your case, that would mean getting rid of this death or just saying offending things. That would be one of those early things that has to go like on day one. There's a few
By
others,
the way,
but Christians would have to make some adjustments. Jewish people would have, everybody would have to adjust a
Yes.
little bit. to get
and
this
here's something
compatibility.
very important.
I agree.
The reason that I like to say things that offend Muslims is because Muslims have these rules like I want to kill you for your speech. If you didn't have those rules in the first place, I would treat you like I treat Christians, which is basically just having a conversation about the theological blah blah blah.
Christians had the
The problem is you have these rules that deny the values of other people, that incite violence against other people, that really are completely antisocial, incompatible with any other group of people, and I can't accept that.
what kind of group of people?
All I want to do is troll you about it. Muhammad was a fucking gay.
By the way, what kind of group of people do you put yourself in, Logic? Atheist, agnostic, what?
What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, because you said other group of people.
I don't have any allegiance to any group that preaches violence against you for any reason, unless you commit violence first.
Yeah, I say the same thing.
How about that?
But we have a different definition of violence. I say the same thing. Right.
Absolutely untrue. You're lying. After how long of inciting violence yourself?
I didn't incite any violence.
You're a liar.
understand
Like,
that
we hear
you're-
what you've said.
Muslim.
You said what you said. You can't, every step of the way, you say something violent, and then you try to, like, pretend you didn't say it, or pretend you meant something else, but you keep saying it over and over.
I said though.
How is anyone supposed to have any compatibility, any positive outlook on you?
Let me say the last sentence on this. Let me
How
say.
is anyone supposed to interact with you in any peaceful sort of way when you seem to have a hair trigger and are so easily offended that you become pro-murder?
The Islamic position is that those even capital punishments as mental deterrents are to curtail violence. Curtail violence.
Well, they suck it up. How are you curtailing violence by inciting it?
No, we just went through this offensive speech that leads to incitement, that leads to violence, that leads to mob mentality, that leads to killing, that leads to killing.
I looked up.
Going through a bunch of horse shit.
Here's the thing. When you're saying the offensive language leads to violence,
Yep.
your example, tell me if I'm wrong, your example was, let's say there's a crowd of Muslims, there's 1,000 of them.
Yep.
Maybe a couple of them are crazy,
Yep.
maybe don't agree with them or anything, but they're crazy. They'll kill me if I say something bad. I say something bad. The violence that they commit on me, you're saying I incited it by saying a thing that would get them riled up, right?
Knowing the mob mentality, you should probably not say hateful things or offensive
There
things
is
like that.
no mob
And if, but if I
mentality.
do,
There's only
but if I
individual
do,
mentality.
If I do, you should be.
Using that word
but
like
if I
trigger.
incite a mob,
Yeah, trigger.
Yeah.
if I incite a mob to kill me,
Yeah.
if I tell a mob something that makes them angry enough that they want to kill me, I'm the one who incited the violence?
Yeah. Now let me give you the answer.
One that started the violence would be the guy that said, let's
All
get
I
it.
did, was disagree with them. They are the ones who got so offended that they wanted to kill me. They incited violence against me for what I said. I did not incite them be violent by saying something they didn't want.
I wish there was no violent.
It is not my fault they killed me, even if it's a bad look.
It's an administrative thing, web scribble. Administrative thing. I wish there was no violent people in the world. I wish there was no aggressive people in the world. But these laws as mental deterrent are made knowingly that there are violent people in the world. There are aggressive natured people in the world.
They're made knowingly that
Yeah.
the Muslims are apparently
Not just Muslims.
that if you trigger them, they literally blow up and kill you.
Not just Muslims. Even in your country.
You're saying mobs of Muslims are so easily
No, logic. Even in your country.
they will murder you in the street.
Even
So
in.
therefore, you make laws that say we have to murder the people who offend the Muslims first
To protect them from being
to
violent
protect them
against
from the mob.
Even in your country, if there is a mob, and they have a certain kind of a view on racism, these kind of things, and you say something racist against them,
You're playing this game again.
yeah, they may kill you as well.
No, you're off on the wrong track again. So
Not just Muslims.
You use the internet, correct? You use social media, you use Reddit, I imagine.
Not Reddit, but yeah, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what an echo chamber is?
Yep.
Okay. How about when you go to somebody's YouTube channel, what happens? Let's say you go to a Christian YouTube channel, somebody very sensitive, you say something, and they ban you. Have you ever had that happen or seen that happen?
By the way, YouTube is way more sensitive.
It's just a yes or no question.
Yeah, YouTube is way more sensitive, right, than Muslims.
Listen, this is hard enough.
Yes.
Have you seen that happen?
Yes.
Have you seen people get banned for making comments?
Yes.
Okay. So, what that generally tells me, and I've been banned from channels, obviously, I mean, we've all have,
Yes.
but what that always indicates is that they are so sensitive that they can't, that what they want to pursue doesn't stand up to any kind of scrutiny. So when somebody comes in, whether it's an aliens and UFOs subreddit, whether it's a religious channel, doesn't matter what the topic is. If you come in and you say something that they don't like, not even offensive, if you just question their beliefs, like if you go into a flat Earth channel and you ask them a question and they say, oh, this isn't really a flat earther, they ban you. They're protecting their echo chamber.
Yes.
That's what those rules are for. That's what that blasphemy law is all about in Pakistan and other places that have them. It's creating an echo chamber. Echo chambers are a defensive mechanism of a very weak group. They can't stand what they've got cannot withstand scrutiny, it cannot withstand discussion, and so instead of trying to discuss it and win on intellectual grounds, they just ban you. In the case of what we're talking about, they either arrest you and jail you, or they kill you. Now, I did look up while we were talking, I looked up the blasphemy convictions and whatnot. In the last couple of decades, I think 3 decades that went back, there's been around 900 arrested and condemned, but none of them were executed by the government.
Yep.
However, 90 were killed by the public.
Yeah.
Somebody killed them once.
I condemn that. I condemn it.
That's fine. I don't care. I don't care.
Yep.
That's nice. At least you're somewhat human.
By the way, we as modern, yeah, we as
Listen, my point is, Hush, my point is that that behavior is exactly the same as the echo chamber behavior that we see on the internet, and it indicates the same thing, that they recognize keep their little Muslim monarchy going on, their little Muslim group going, because they like the way that lifestyle is. And so anybody that comes in and threatens that, because they don't want to give up their sharia law and whatnot, so they don't want people thinking about it. They don't even want these discussions happening. And so they've got these laws in place to prevent even the discussions from happening. That's not healthy.
Yeah.
That doesn't serve anybody's best interest.
Yeah, but yeah, they're very good, very good. Good arguments you made, very good arguments. Echo chambers, groups. By the way, group mentality is everywhere. Do you know that? Group mentality is everywhere. Even right now, Logic has all his friends, all his subscribers. I can say that he has a bigger echo chamber than Muslims, right?
Oh, what the hell are you talking about? I'll say, I said earlier, and I didn't agree, but I've said a few times already tonight that I didn't agree with certain ways they frame the question. I am nobody's, I don't echo anybody's values but my own. I share values with Logic because I think you should be not killed for saying something, no matter what you say. But him and I have wildly different values.
I say the same. We
On government interference in life versus mine. They're completely different.
yeah.
And even
Don't
within
try
the
and
various,
act like we're all the same. We just don't want people to.
I believe the same thing. You can say whatever you like.
in the discussion groups that we have within this Discord, we're all over the place. People don't get along in here either.
I think that I should give it to you. Muslims aren't all their own echo chamber too. There are groups of Muslims that are like that, and there are a ton of them that aren't. We're talking about the ones that are.
Yeah, but group mentality is among all people. Yeah. Group.
Yeah, well, not all,
Mm.
but in all groups, you can find, in all areas of life, you can find a group that uses mob mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this.
This Discord
to
is a
call
bad example of group mentality. Everyone agrees.
to call this Discord group an echo chamber, or to call my channel an echo chamber, I don't ban anyone from my channel. Period.
Yeah, and I
The last time anyone here,
appreciate.
the last time anyone here got banned for anything, I can't even remember. It was probably some spam shit. It's probably like,
It was
making
the
it impossible for
Rubik's
us.
guy.
And I appreciate you for that, Logic. I appreciate you for that, actually.
No, but like trying to paint an equivalence between
No, no,
what you're advocating for and
no,
what I actually do is so foolish.
no. I was saying that.
None of us would kill people because they said something we don't want.
Yeah, people say stuff that I absolutely hate, that offends me deeply, all the fucking time. In my Discord.
Hmm.
All the time. Literally every day. And you know what I do? I just ignore it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
No, I was.
Yeah. If someone said it to my face, I wouldn't care. I would just go about my day. I'd be like, shut up, idiot, and then I'd leave.
Yeah, Rigel was saying. Yeah, Rigel was saying that he was making sort of a false equivalence about a government making up policies and then comparing that to an echo chamber. A government making policies in a real life is very different to the social media echo chambers. I would argue that.
No,
I,
that's actually literally trying to create a social echo chamber on a national scale. That's exactly what that is.
yeah, but
Speech laws exactly specifically are trying to create a thought echo chamber on a national scale. That's why they do it. If they didn't want to do that, they wouldn't put those laws in.
yeah, but everybody loves their echo chambers. Everybody, including ourselves, right? We love groups. We love anybody.
Not
Who,
when
I
there's a
know
death penalty.
groups are not echo chambers. Do you know the difference between a group and an echo chamber? What is an echo chamber?
yeah, I would say that if there is a WhatsApp group of mine, right, my mindset type of people, right, and you tell me something, and now I go to my WhatsApp account and tell them, hey, I had a discussion with Logic today, and so those type of people, in a separate sort of an echo chamber or separate group of mine, that will be called an echo chamber, right?
Canada is not like that. Canada has every type of people saying every type of thing.
An echo chamber is where you're
Same
shutting
here.
people or preventing people from expressing opinions that differ with your own.
Hmm.
So if you're on a busload of people traveling somewhere and somebody says something you don't like and you pitch them off the bus,
Yeah, the scope of its meaning is varies because some people, do you know, 5 years back, 10 years back, people used to say Twitter is an echo chamber. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because they were actively excluding
Yeah.
certain kinds of views. They were kicking out certain kinds of people who disagreed with the leadership.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm telling you, is when you come to a place like Canada, like your views of advocating murder for speech would be legally acceptable here. You would not be, if you were an immigrant to here, you would not be deported for that. You would not be jailed for it. You would not be abused for it.
Look, there is no doubt.
Very likely, even by some random crazy person in the public, you probably wouldn't even get attacked for it.
There is no
Nothing
doubt.
would happen to you.
Okay, let me agree with you first.
Probably have a bunch of people say you're wrong, especially if you publicly went out and started saying it on TV or something.
There is
That's
no,
it.
there is no doubt that, there are certain countries who are more lenient than Muslims, including, these liberal countries. I can agree with that. And by the way, when extreme Muslims take vigilantism on their own hands, it pains us even more than you people do, right? Because we are more answerable rather than you people, right? And so,
North Korea and China excluded, that would be every other country.
yeah.
Yeah, you have Muslim countries, North Korea. What was the other one you said? And also Eritrea. Eritrea.
Never even heard of that one.
It's like the African North Korea.
Damn, you're just so educated, Logic. I'm going to build a shrine to you.
No, in terms of what? In terms of what?
In terms of being allowed to express opinions that go against the mainstream belief.
I think it happens in all countries. In all countries.
No, I would say, like, we're talking about degrees. We're talking about how bad it is.
Yeah.
We're talking about, so you basically you have North Korea, Eritrea, Muslim countries, and then China.
I would actually make the argument. Let me tell you what is happening in the real world. Nobody gives a shit about, what blasphemy laws Muslim countries have. The real world is that it is you people who think of these as some sort of a very weird thing. But in the real world, nobody gives a shit. If you understand, if you know the language of Arabic and Urdu, you will easily get jobs in most of the Muslim countries, and you will not have any problems like this. This is happening in the real world. Actually, people are coming to UAE. UFC has come to Saudi Arabia. WWE has come to Saudi Arabia. All the sports are coming to Saudi Arabia. Qatar hosted World Cup.
I bet they're real careful what they say too.
Saudi Arabia,
Real careful what they say.
Saudi Arabia and UAE have made some compromises. Remember that word we talked about? On
Yep.
what they will tolerate from the tourists and from the other external businesses. To a degree, you still have to walk a fine line. They still track your location very, very carefully. But
Still walking on eggshells.
yeah, you are definitely under scrutiny the entire time you're there, and they don't want you staying permanently. You're there for the job and then you leave.
Even as an immigrant, do you know about immigration laws, how strict they are becoming? It is not just a religious thing. This phenomenon is happening in the entire world. Any immigrant that goes to another country, he is checked rigorously for about 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, but they're not killed. They're not killed because of what they say. That's the problem.
You will not get killed here as well.
Forever.
Promote people like us more, and you will, there will be even lenient laws, compatible laws as well in all religions. So promote moderate voices. That's the main point.
No, there are degrees of oppression. And your countries have a significantly higher degree of that.
America is probably the highest, I think. America is the highest in terms of oppression.
Bunch of shit, man.
America has made more wars and more killing than any other country.
I'm talking about oppression of speech within the country. That's what the topic of the discussion is.
America, I think, America is the worst, I think, still, because all these companies.
You don't get killed.
Are you
You don't
completely
get killed
stupid?
here for saying Muhammad is gay. You get killed over there for saying Muhammad is gay. You get killed for something you say there. You don't get killed here.
If I start promoting shit,
There's a bunch of other ways.
yeah, if
We're not talking about those.
yeah, restricted. Voices will be restricted. Same happens in our country as well. It's not so different.
It's quite different when the death penalty is on the
USA. Oh,
Trying to paint an equivalency between things that are obviously not equivalent.
does USA have capital punishment? Yes or no?
Yes.
For speech, no.
I mean, come on, you know that.
No. The
For speech,
context
no.
matters.
For speech as well, logic for speech as well. You know, if I
Places, if they
Some states have capital punishment for murder. No states have capital punishment for speech. Period.
but Muslims will argue the same. I will say the same, that there is no punishment for speech,
Yes, there is.
bullshit.
offensive speech. Yeah.
You're lying because you already advocated for it.
In America, is there punishment?
You're saying
You
one
know
thing.
what the laws are.
Are you familiar with the term talking out of both sides of your mouth?
That's what you are doing.
That's literally what you're doing. You advocate for murder for speech, and then you turn around and say there's no murder for speech. We talk about there being murder for speech, right? Rigel brings up the numbers, and then you're like, yeah, but there's none of that.
But let me tell you what America will do. If I start saying that I believe in Sharia law, I believe in Hud punishments, they will say, oh, this is an extremist, this is a terrorist. They will kill me and they will say, oh, we have killed a terrorist. And they're perfectly legitimate, right?
When did they do that?
Yeah, people say that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
People, we've got senators, we've got people running for president, or for elected office that want to bring in Sharia law. We're not killing them.
No, I said,
Laughing at them.
And there is
They are
a difference.
publicly-
There's a difference between the public saying that you're a terrorist and the government labeling you as one. Nobody in the U.S. has ever been labeled as a terrorist because they said they wanted to institute Sharia law. Ever.
no, it depends upon how these Americans and in the government, how they understand Sharia law. Because most of the American people in the government understand Sharia law to be an extreme version of Sharia law. So they label you an extremist based upon just saying that you believe in Sharia law, right?
What is this an official label? What does it mean? Are they off the fly list? Show
Yeah,
us names
are you
of
talking
people.
about
Can you
random
show
on
me a
Twitter?
name of someone who got persecuted because of something they said in the U.S.?
Yeah,
Can
like, are you
show us an
talking about
example
just
of what
Twitter?
America is so worst. America is so worst that they drone strike people. That they don't strike.
No. We're not talking about drone strikes. Stop switching the subject.
But drone strikes are involved in killing as well. Killing. Drone strikes kill people. Drone strikes kill people conducted by the American government. They kill people.
Okay, but who was labeled an extremist? I'm not
The
asking
American
you.
government labeled them as extremists, right? They say that a Muslim carrying a gun.
Because they said something mean.
So Afghanistan, when they were against Russia, they made up a label for them, freedom fighters. But when they were against America, they made up a label, terrorist. American government.
Stop saying that. Give me someone's name. What group was
George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan called Afghani Mujahideens.
No. I'm not asking about which president said it. I'm asking who was labeled as an extremist for what they said in America.
Do you know America even labels the Palestinian Authority as a terrorist group? They label Hamas as a terrorist group. They label Hamas as a terrorist group.
The Palestinians have been terrorists for decades. They've been bombing nightclubs and whatnot. And
Is the American government terrorist? Is the
I don't think it's constructive for us to talk about Israel Palestine. I think we should try and keep
Yeah.
that one out.
Okay.
That's probably best for the conversation. But my point is, you said
Is the American government terrorist?
if they say, well, no, hold on. You said something very specific.
Yeah.
You said people in speaking Muslim ideologies in America are labeled as an extremist. Give me an example of one Muslim. Give me their name who was labeled as an extremist. Tell me what agency did the labeling and what it means to be
Yeah.
labeled as an
Anwar, just search it. Just
What are the consequences
yeah.
for it?
Just search the name. Search the name Anwar al-Awlaki. He was drone striked in
You got it.
United States of America. Right.
Okay,
There was a drone strike on the U.S. mainland, and somebody that said something. All right, send the name to someone else.
Anwar al-Awlaki is the name, right? So
Anwar al-Awlaki killed in Yemen.
in America.
In Yemen. Yemen isn't in America.
Killed.
I suspect he did a lot more than just say mean things.
He was drone struck in America, right?
Drone struck in Yemen. Yemen. South of Saudi Arabia. Yemen.
Far away.
Yeah, but U.S. conducted it, right?
Yes, U.S. conducted it.
Yeah, he was a U.S. citizen. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was a U.S. citizen.
In the name of an American
He was an American.
who was labeled an extremist.
He was an American.
Sharia law in America.
He was an
What
American.
happened to that person?
Anwar al-Awlaki was an American. Logicked, he was an American. He was killed by a drone
And he was
strike.
killed in Yemen. We're asking you.
But he was a U.S.
Who in
citizen.
Who in America was labeled an extremist in America and killed by the government in America for their speech?
Yeah, now hear me out. Is there any person other than Muslim who has been labeled as a terrorist? Name me that person.
Like tons of right-wing people, all the January
Name one. Name me one.
Proud Boys,
Name
all
one.
the fucking-
Name me one. Name one.
Okay, look up the Proud Boys. Look up January 6th.
Proud Boys.
Yeah.
I believe the word terrorist is a neo-colonial construct created by the West against Muslims.
Now, did you say extremist or terrorist?
Terrorism.
Canada has designated Proud Boys
Yeah.
as terrorists.
Far right, neo-fascist. No word of terrorist comes up. No word of terrorist comes up.
Designated as a terrorist group in Canada. Do you care if it's Canada or the States?
And I've just checked up the was designated as a terrorist group.
But do you understand what that terrorist group isn't just a word that we say that sounds scary? There's a definition to it, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying a whip scribble. I'm just saying that they are very selective with this word. If American government conducts a drone strike killing someone, you will not call American government as a terrorist government, right? But you will safely call Muslim as a terrorist. You will safely call Muslim as a terrorist.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. If the American government, and there are examples of this, by the way, if the American government unjustly goes and is targeting citizens and
Unjustly, yeah.
yeah, that is absolutely terrorism,
Thank you.
and that has happened. Most definitely has happened.
I didn't want to bring up Israel and Palestine, but what's happening to the Palestinians is terrorism
Yes.
right now. I'll agree with you that there are no free passes for the U.S. because
I hope you understand. I
people
think
criticize our own government too.
my goal would be to tear apart the U.S. government and the Canadian government and toss them in the garbage can.
By the way, even in my country, in Pakistan, do you know U.S. conducted unjust drone strikes for so many years, and we went through all of that as well. Do you also condemn that and call that as a terrorist?
The U.S. have done terrible things
Yeah.
in the Middle East all throughout the course of history, and
if
it's
they were
bad.
intentionally
But we're
targeting-
not talking about drone strikes.
If
We're
they were
talking about
intentionally-
freedom of speech in America.
Why doesn't drone strikes matter you people? Why doesn't drone strikes matter when they also kill people?
However, this is idiotic whataboutism. However, yes, if the U.S. I'm sure you can probably provide some examples. If the U.S. intentionally targeted civilians
Oh.
as opposed to enemy combatants, and
Intentionally.
murdered them with drones,
Intentionally.
yes, I condemn that entirely.
Intentionally.
Nobody
Every
agrees.
instance of
How do you check intentions, Logicked? How do you
Nobody thinks that's acceptable.
how do you check
Nobody thinks that's acceptable.
But how do you check intentions when it comes to a white supremacist, a Western American government killing with drone strikes?
If they go and blow up like a apartment building with just a bunch of civilians in it, pretty much assign the intentions.
That's literally what they do.
Major fuck up.
That's
They should have done their work better.
Yeah, that's literally what they do. Read about these drone strikes. They are happening in Afghanistan, Somalia.
Nobody here is defending the U.S. government. We're talking about freedom of speech in America. Now we're randomly talking about drone strikes in Pakistan, which is a completely different issue. And yes, we're on your side. Unjust attacks against civilians are unjustified in all cases, in all places, by all governments. Now can we get back to the point of freedom of speech in America, which you still haven't justified, is equivalent to murder for speech in Pakistan?
Yeah, your point was.
There is no murder for speech in any Muslim country. Offensive speech.
Your point was that in America, if you say something like super Muslim, I'm shortening your argument.
They will label you as a terrorist.
Like
Yeah.
if someone in America advocates Sharia law, you're saying they'll be labeled as a terrorist.
Yep.
What group has been labeled as a terror group purely because they said they advocated Sharia law in America?
Just
Name one.
just look at their sites. I mean, they have labeled so many groups as terrorist groups. ISIS,
You gotta
Hamas,
pick one. You're the one making the claim, dude. You gotta find it for me.
the Taliban, Al Qaeda, Taliban.
Yeah, but the Taliban. Hold on a second. The Taliban didn't just come to America on the streets and say, "Excuse me, sir, I believe we should put Sharia law in America." They did a lot more than this. I'm asking you, who came to America and advocated for Sharia law, and that's all they did. They just said, "I believe that we should follow this set of laws," and then the government said, "Oh, you're a terrorist." That never happened, and it never would in America.
Yeah,
It happens all the time
in
in your country.
in UK wasn't recently Abdul Wahid, the doctor, wasn't he labeled as a terrorist just because he had some connections with Hizbut Tahrir, and these kind of things come up. Connection, even they check connections, that if you have connections with a certain terrorist
If
group,
you have connections, yes.
yeah, they will label you as a
If you're-
terrorist
if you're supplying
sympathizer.
money, if
Well, what do
you're
you
supplying
mean by
materials,
connection?
They will label
What do you mean by connection?
if
And what do you mean by labeled a terrorist? Because what does that actually mean?
it means that
By what?
Does it mean,
And what?
does it mean that
What
you're guilty?
organization?
yes, US
What
kills you.
organization
Yeah.
labeled them as terrorists?
You,
Don't say the UK government, because they have an agency. The agency has probably a three-letter name.
yeah, the US government has all the list of I'll just take it out.
But none of them are terrorists only because they advocated for something with their freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want in America and you will not be labeled as a terrorist. As long as you're not saying, "I'm going to bomb the White House tomorrow at 11 in the morning with a bunch of TNT. That's the only thing you can't say.
No, Web Scribble, they will label you. They do label you. They do label you. It happens very slowly. Even in our country, you will not be labeled as something by the government until it. Yeah.
it's important also to remember we're talking about a label being applied, maybe being added to a no-fly list, and possibly being arrested and charged with some actual crimes. We're not talking about you said this mean thing, so we're going to hit you with a capital crime. That's a bit different.
They realize it's cat.
Oh, okay. It's fine.
No,
Okay, now this is the list of terrorist groups.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
but the way that the law is written, it says something like the law says that any derogatory remarks, etc., in respect of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, either spoken or written, or by visible representation, or by any imputation, innuendo, or insinuation, directly or indirectly, shall be punished with death or
That
imprisonment.
sounds like if you don't believe in Muhammad, or you believe, if anybody can prove that there's any indication that you believe that Muhammad is gay, off to the death, up to the fucking chopping block.
Saying that, you
It's
just
just-
say it. That's enough.
The only reason you have to say something in Islam before you're punished for it is because they can't read your mind. If they could, they'd kill you for not believing too.
Yeah,
That's
will
seen time and time again because there's extremist groups, not because every Muslim is bad or anything.
just because you read it and it sounded very why didn't you read the American law where it's read about capital punishment as well? It sounds the same. Death sounds the same. Kill sounds the same, Rigel.
Punishment for different things.
They invent.
Punishment for speech.
Yeah, they for offensive speech, America can also label you as a terrorist and kill you, right?
No.
Yes, they do that.
They don't do that though.
They
You
do
might
that.
know they don't do that.
They do that all the time, every day.
Do that, and you cannot prove it. Nobody was labeled a terrorist and killed for something they said. You don't have the name of a single fucking person because every name you come up with, you've done more than just say something.
Didn't you say that there is no punishment? There is no punishment by a Muslim country to a blasphemer. Didn't you say that there is no punishment by a Muslim country as well to a blasphemer? Didn't you say that?
I'm sorry.
You said that there is no capital punishment actually conducted by a Muslim country against anybody for the past many.
The statistic he gave was that they were condemned, right?
Yeah, only the kangaroo courts. On,
They had been sentenced, but they had not executed anybody.
yep, and the only people who executed were in Afghanistan, the kangaroo courts, the vigilantes, the Jarga courts. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So it's the same.
they haven't killed anybody.
It's the
yet.
same.
But
It's the same.
It's on the books. The fact that it's on the books is
The
bad
fact that
enough.
it's even a crime at all
Yeah.
It's a mental deterrent. Remember the mental deterrent argument.
is a problem.
Mental deterrent.
It's a deterrent from people saying something you don't like. We know.
Yep, to keep the society in check.
That isn't compatible with a peaceful society.
Mental deterrent.
Go out and say something.
Yeah, mental.
You're not protecting me. You're not protecting me from a mob by not allowing me to say something. Okay? If you want to protect me from a mob that would get angry if I say something, you stop them from killing me when I say it.
Yes.
You condemn the killing. You don't condemn the speech. Don't blame God. Islam loves to victim blame. Like so much. It's insane how much it happens.
I mean, just forget religion for a second.
Just kill them.
Okay,
Did you see what she was wearing? Of course they raped her. I mean, what would you expect?
okay.
It wasn't rape. It was a virginity check.
Let's take the killing argument out of the question. Let's take religion out of the question. A society. Let me give you an example.
That's all it's about.
A society.
It's only about your religion.
A society.
So if you take the religion out of the equation,
Hear my
there
argument.
won't be any more violent punishment.
Okay, hear my argument. Let's take religion out of the question for a second.
You're right. Let's take the religion out of the
Yeah. Now imagine a world. Imagine a world where people starting insulting each other. People starting insulting each other's mothers, each other's fathers, each other's relatives. Is that a very good? Is that a very good society? Is that a good society? Is that a good society or a bad society?
I'll tell you what.
Thank you.
It's none of your goddamn fucking business what they say. And if you don't like it, then you can fuck off and plug your ears.
So insulting your mothers, insulting each other mothers.
That is a good society because no one's killing anybody. I can say whatever I want.
But it's not a good thing, Whip Scribble. Insulting each other mothers.
There's a thing that I was
You
taught
don't
when
get
I
to
was growing
decide
up.
what's a good thing and a bad thing. You don't get to choose that. Your book doesn't.
So you'll allow that.
Thing I was taught when I was growing up, and it was sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will
Yep.
never hurt me. Y'all need to learn that shit.
Yeah, I said that, but insulting others is also wrong, right?
Well, what do you think the solution is to insulting people? Should we just kill everyone who insults each other? Because I think that killing is worse than insulting.
It gets back to your argument. It gets back to Logick's argument that we should teach everybody, we should make the society intelligent enough so that there is no insult of anybody and also there is no killing, ultimately, right?
Yeah, but guess what? They can still say it. You can still say it. I can teach my kid, I can raise my kid, and I can say, all right, look, me and you, we don't believe in Muhammad. This is what I would tell my kids. We're going to a Muslim place. This school, 80% of them are Muslims. They're very devout. They're very nice. They're not the crazy people that Muslims are sometimes unjustly painted as. But they don't really like it if you say something bad about Muhammad. We've talked about Muhammad. I've explained to you, as my kid, why I don't think Muhammad is a real prophet, whatever. But let's just be nice to these guys and not say anything. Just let's respect their decisions. I can do that without saying, if you say something bad to those Muslims, I'm going to cut your fucking hand off. I don't have to do that. That's not a good deterrent. And that's a real good way to get a fucked up kid at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Teach them without killing. You don't need that deterrent. All you need to do is say, hey, we have sensibilities. We would prefer to don't say this, and that's that. If they do say it, well, you know what? That's a really mean person, and you should probably just not listen to what they have to say. But if you kill them, you're fucking evil. You're worse than them. If matter what they said to you. All right, I'm gonna
Okay.
stop for.
Yeah, I think.
The way you learn to get along with other people is you learn to tolerate what they have to say. Some of it is going to be important to you, some of it is not. You just have to let it roll off your back because most things people say don't matter.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think
And if some group is into killing me for my opinion, um, that makes me much more hostile by default towards that group and much more likely to want to do things like hurt their feelings and offend them.
Yeah, I agree
Because
with.
it's a terrible group of people with terrible ideas who want to hurt me.
I agree with that. Generally speaking, we all believe the
No,
same.
that's what I'm saying about Islam. I'm saying that about Islam.
Islam doesn't believe in.
And I'm saying that your behavior and what you advocate makes me want to say things that go against your values. It makes me want to hurt your feelings. It makes me want to make you feel bad.
Yeah.
Because you're a bad person.
There's an element of extremism that you don't like in Islam, so you start mocking it. I understand that.
No,
I understand.
No, you are the extremism. You are the extremism.
See how quickly you started labeling me, and now from extremist to terrorist
You
to
advocate murder for speech.
drone strikes to killing, and again the same thing.
You advocate murder for speech. You are the extremism. I don't advocate fucking drone strikes against civilians.
I
do not do that. You advocate murder for speech, so fuck you.
we don't advocate murder for speech. We condemn it.
Yes, you do. You've been doing that this entire time.
I said offensive
Put
speech
it on
that.
the books as a deterrent. It's still bad, even if
Yeah,
you never
you're
do it.
advocating it if you advocate for it to be in the law.
Okay, I think we have.
I'm not gonna chop my kid's hands off, but I'll tell him it so he'll behave.
So
That's
you.
still abusive.
So a society where.
Any government with a blasphemy law on the books is a problem. I don't care which religion it's about. A blasphemy law is a very big problem.
By the way, in Rigel,
It makes me like instantly on the opposite team from you, right? You come at me aggressively. You come at me advocating for laws to be on the books that demand my murder. And so instantly we're enemies. If you came at me in peace and kindness and you said, you disagree with me, please, I would really appreciate it if you don't say things that are randomly hurtful to me, and, I won't say things that are hurtful to you, I would say, cool, awesome.
yeah, this is
But
called.
you don't do that. You come with murderous intent and insane ideas about how to forcibly make me peaceful to you, while you don't have to be peaceful back.
Okay, I think logic. I think you probably have the understanding of Islam that you have is an extreme understanding of Islam. Yeah, no, that's the problem.
Explicitly and openly, this entire conversation, my understanding
Of Islam is an.
based on the words that came out of your mouth.
I said that these are just a mental deterrent. I will not kill anybody.
Yes, and that is not acceptable. That is coming with extreme aggression.
Still evil.
Instead of looking for mutual respect, you come with threats of death. Mental deterrent means threatening death, threatening murder. That is insane levels of aggression.
Because
You start the conversation with that. You don't start with, hello, my name is Islamic Response. Can we be friends? Maybe we can be nice to each other. We have different ideas.
we are friends.
No, you come with, you better not fucking say anything to me or I'll murder you.
We are friends, I think. Okay, but let me give you an. Okay.
You are a person who came to me and said, if you say anything I don't like, you deserve to die. It's just a mental deterrent.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You told me that to start the fucking discussion.
I didn't say that.
How can we be friends when that is how you approach me as a human being?
I didn't say anything like that.
Christians don't do that. Christians come, maybe they're bothered by something I've said, maybe they're not, but they will say, we have different ideas, let's talk. Buddhists will come to me and say, we have different ideas, let's talk. Atheists will come to me and say, we have different ideas, let's talk. Shintoists will come to me and say, we have different ideas, let's talk.
I am a Muslim. We have different ideas. We will talk.
That's what
Okay.
People, Islamophobia is not a phobia because a phobia is an irrational fear. They're just afraid because all you do is preach death and murder.
I'll tell
And
you,
then you say, oh, well, I didn't really mean it. I didn't really mean you deserve to die. I just thought you should, like, think you're going to die. Oh, great. That makes it so much better. Like, that so fixes the fucking problem. That you come with the most ludicrous level of aggression and murderous speech imaginable to start the conversation with anyone who's not like you.
Okay, you done? You
And
done?
then you think that people are supposed to just accept that peacefully. People are just supposed to lie down and take that. Just bend the knee. Just submit, as they say. Islam, right? Just submit to you. No, fuck you.
I'm not letting them into my survivalist.
Feel better now? Feel better? Do you feel better now? Getting that all out? Did you get that all out? Get.
let's get to the moment. I want to round out my point.
Let's have a glass of water.
I'll let you speak first.
Yeah, I just say that the version of Islam that Logicked has understood is a very extreme version of Islam, and he thinks that all Islam is like what ISIS understands Islam to be, and he's
No, it's like what you say it is.
No, it's not what. It's
No,
what
I
your
didn't say
government-
anything
your
like that.
government says.
It's like what
You're
you
saying
say
your
you
government.
Islamic
uses
Islamic
death
interpretations
to
are very
say
diverse.
that is bad.
Yeah.
Don't
We're
try
not
to
saying
blame
you're
ISIS for what you've said here.
What
ISIS didn't say it, you did.
what did I say?
I'm not talking about ISIS. Yeah, ISIS is a whole other thing. But you are an extremist.
What did I say?
Are you fucking kidding me? Did you not listen to a goddamn word I said, you fucking idiot?
No, I said you said that I said something that offended you. What did I say that offended you?
Did you seriously not listen to anything that I just got done saying? Were you
Well, it wasn't
sitting
about
there
being
pulling your
offended.
fucking dick the whole fucking time I was talking?
Okay, calm down, Logic. Calm down.
God, you're stupid. Holy shit, man. Like, get your fucking fingers out of your ears and listen. Did you, like, I know you're recording it. Roll back the tape and listen to it. If you're confused about what you've said, about what is extremist about what you've said. I just explained it to you in excruciating detail. You should not need any more help.
And you're an Islamophobe.
Well, here.
No, because a phobia is an irrational fear. Yes, I'm nervous about people who preach murder.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
I am very nervous. If you preach murder like you've done, I am bothered by that. I am nervous about that. Because you know what? People act on that. When people preach that, people hear that and they act on that.
by the way, have you ever come across the YouTube videos of prank videos? And they do these prank videos to get an emotion out of people, and there are even cases where they are in the hood and making all these nigger jokes and all these kind of things, and they actually
So are
take
you pranking me? Is that
no, I'm saying humanity is where they take
You're
out.
pranking me now by making all these nasty death jokes, murder jokes.
No,
Is that what
I
it
see
is
where
now?
I see what his point is.
Oh, I see what his point is too, but I don't think he understands that what he's going to say applies precisely to him right now.
I'm saying that
Too fucking stupid.
inciting violence is not good.
Complaining about himself.
Abusive language, inciting violence is not good. We believe that we have that position. That's not good.
You're using abusive language and inciting violence this entire conversation. That's the entire conversation.
I didn't
You
do it.
inciting violence.
I didn't do anything. I
Using abusive language, talking about how we should be murdered.
I didn't say anything.
What conversation is that?
I think you are hearing something else. I didn't advocate any form of murder or any form of killing.
It's like talk out of both sides of your mouth.
Sorry,
You say
that
one
is
thing and then
murder.
you say another. You completely talk out of both sides of your mouth. You cannot settle on a position because you want to advocate for at least threatening murder, but you don't want to own it. You don't want to actually own up to it. You say it. And
I think we had a very
you say it, you back off. You
I
say
think
it,
we had a very
you're
nuanced.
too pussy to commit yourself to what you advocate.
I think we
Pussy to own your own position.
I think we had a very
Say these things openly, explicitly, clearly, and then you back off again and again and again. Like, just be a man.
we had a very nuanced conversation about offensive speech turning into incitement for violence, incitement of for violence turning into a mob mentality turning into killing. So in order to prevent all of that,
Offensive speech. Everything you have said is extremely offensive speech. Extremely offensive speech.
then I think you should be a little bit less sensitive.
Oh, you're welcome. You can make my own rules.
You are being very sensitive, Logic.
Should I look?
Very sensitive.
If I killed you for what you've just said, or advocated that you should be killed for what you've just said, yeah, you're right. I'm overly sensitive if I do that.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what you're saying should happen. People should be threatened with murder.
I mean, you are
You
getting
can
angry.
say something you don't like.
You are also getting
That's
angry.
exactly the point. You're right. You should be a little less sensitive. That's exactly my fucking point.
Yeah, you are also getting angry, emotional. These emotions,
I'm not gonna kill you.
Muslims are also emotional.
Say anyone else should.
Who knows? Who knows?
Saying we should have rules that say that you will get killed.
If you are,
That's a mental deterrent. You wouldn't really do it. Okay, fine, but you're saying that the law should be on the books to scare people. You're saying this preemptively to people who haven't even offended you yet. You're starting the conversation.
I haven't killed anybody as well. I haven't killed anybody.
Oh my God. Round and round we go.
Round and around. Just round and around in fucking circles.
I can say that you are acting very, very angry. You are putting me these extremist labels. Probably you may kill me in the future as well. I can make the same arguments, right? So this goes.
Advocating for you to be killed or to be threatened with death. You're advocating for me to be threatened with death.
I didn't do. I didn't advocate anything. I didn't advocate anything.
You are fucking ass. You said it.
No.
You said it's good that your government and you said it's a good deterrent and you're glad your government does it. Anyways, can I take the stage for my last? I only have
Yeah,
5
you go
minutes
ahead,
before I
man.
get back.
I'm getting so fucking fed up with bullshit.
Yeah.
All countries have deterrents. All countries have deterrents.
Stay in there for 30 minutes and I'll
Yeah.
leave it. So I just want to finish this line of questioning. Islamic response. Earlier, I asked you if so this Muslim country that you live in uses death threat, as a deterrent for the speech. You said that it would be wrong if a Christian country did the same thing and had the same exact rule. Let me ask you this. Do you see where the problem of duality comes in that assessment? Because these Christians are as certain as you are.
Okay, now let me answer. Let me answer. Let me answer.
Hold on, I'm not done with the question.
I understood the question.
Helped it out. It's not done. I didn't even start the question. You said earlier that if a Christian country did the same law, it would be wrong. My question is to you. You are certain that the Prophet Muhammad was a prophet and all that stuff. You're just as certain as Christians are that Jesus was true. So they're just as sure as you. Do you not understand why it's a problem when you say that the template works differently for someone that believes something different than you? Because they might say the same thing.
Yeah, hear me out now.
They're going to look at the same
Good
situation.
question.
If you want to talk about compatibility, here's my question. If you want to talk about compatibility in a society, everybody has to have the same standard for one another. Why is it okay if Muslims do it as their rule because you think they're correct?
Okay, now
Shouldn't do it because their religion is wrong.
okay, now let me answer. Let me answer. In this entire world, nobody is 100% similar to another person, right? Even you people are different to each other, right? So this thing about compatibility is that nobody is absolutely similar to anybody, but we are compatible. Now, you said the Christian country having the exact same laws, just like the Muslim country has. Will I appreciate those laws? I said ideologically speaking, I will say that because Christianity is wrong, I am against that. However, in the real world, I will respect those laws. I will check those laws, and I will check whether those laws are compatible with my living there. If they are compatible with me living there, I'll migrate. If they are not compatible with me living there, I will not migrate. So this works like this. This entire world works like this. If you are not compatible with a Muslim country, you can go to another country.
Okay. Well, at least you didn't really add that part
Yeah.
You didn't say it earlier. You just said that
Yes.
it would be, you don't want them, you don't, it would be wrong if they have those laws. I'm glad that you sculpted it out a little
Yeah,
bit more now.
I believe in moderation in every religion. That we should try to understand your sensitivities so that we may integrate people like you. Yeah, and you people also understand our insensitivity, our sensitivity. So you people integrate people like us. I believe in that type of a world order where we are sensitive to each other feelings, each other values, and we live in a a very compatible way where we respect each other's values. And by the way, psychologists say the same thing. Psychologists say the same thing. Psychologists say the same things, that you should respect religious values as well. Psychologists say social values should be respected, religious values should be respected, moral values should be respected, cultural values should be respected. These are the four fundamental values. Right, right.
If you punish somebody in your Muslim country for saying something that's against your religion because they have a different religion, you're not respecting their religious values. You're the problem here, compatibility wise. You're the only country that will say
How about
you can't say that. That's not allowed.
how about we make laws in such a way that we allow your voices in such a way that they are done in a forum, in a suitable forum, like a discussion, like a debate. Yeah.
That's a little bit better. You're still restricting speech to some extent. I would say that if you had to look at it objectively, that would be a little bit less bad than telling them you'll kill them to maybe make them scared enough
Yeah.
to not say it. So that is a little bit of an improvement, I would say.
By the way, I believe the West has also done a lot of good things. I'm so much against extreme Islam. I'm so much against extreme Islam. You know, there are elements in extreme Islam like terrorism, like extremism, like wrongly appointing blasphemy laws.
Let me ask you this. Let's say that a country.
Logic, calm down.
Your country is run with those. If you'll respect the Christian laws, if they do it just the same as you, and the Christian laws respect it the same as you, what if a bunch of Christians moved to your country, and all of a sudden, the population went up? It's a majority Christian now. So they're going to vote themselves in, and they're going to
Yep.
change the laws to exactly what the law you said you tolerate the Christian law in their own country.
Yep.
Well, this country is theirs now, and they're going to put the same law. You can't say bad things about Christianity. You can't say anything supporting
Yep.
Islam.
Yeah. This is
What are you going to do about that?
yeah. This has.
If you respect these laws in their own independent countries, as soon as they
I mean,
yours,
if
you're fucked.
if you come to my country and you persuade every Muslim, every person your ideology, and they convert to your ideology, I mean, what can I do? You will win over the country.
No, I don't
Yeah.
have to convert them. I just need to bring a bunch of my own Christians in to outweigh your vote.
That's what happened in Israel, right?
They're Muslim. They still believe what they believe, but I'm in control because I don't know if it's a democracy there or what. But if it is,
Yeah,
you're
there is.
fucked. I can have Christians make a bunch of babies, send them to your country to vote, and then make it illegal for you to be a Muslim. And would you still respect that? Because it's our country. If you're saying you would respect these laws in a Christian country and you'll leave if they're not compatible with you, then it sounds like what you're saying is if we invade your country and change the laws, you'll just leave, which is exactly what Israel wants Palestine to do.
Yeah. The
That's what we're saying is bad. Can you see how allowing this type of law, even if it's not your country, even if you say, those guys are over there, I don't respect it, so I just won't move there, it's still a problem if you're not moving them. The fact that that law exists and is supported is still a problem, because they can spread to your country just as easily. Do you see where the problem is with this type of law being allowed? It doesn't matter who does it. That's why we take such hardline stances on freedom of speech. We don't care who's suppressing it. We don't care why they're suppressing it.
I think that's a fair
Because
criticism.
if you allow
Yeah.
them a template to suppress it, they can use it in any situation.
I think that's a fair
You
criticism.
know what I mean?
Yeah, fair criticism in terms of these mental deterrents understood in a very wrong way. That's a problem. But again, I will say that offensive speech turning into incitement for violence is also a problem. So you know, both things need to be understood, right?
Oh, I think
There's two
you
steps there.
have a fundamental flaw in your thinking about how my speech incites violence. If I say Muhammad is gay, I'm not inciting violence. I'm saying Muhammad is gay. If some Islamic people out there who are extreme and they're bad people, you already said you don't like the Muslim extremists. If they decide that guy said Muhammad is gay, we're gonna kill him. I didn't incite that violence. They incited violence against me because of what I said. I'm the victim.
Have you ever heard of everything is fair in love and war?
It's not. It's fucking not. That's a bullshit statement. We have rules of war, and they're there for a reason. Don't tell me you don't support those either, because that would just be unhinged. That would be the craziest thing you'd say all night.
Well, at that point, you wouldn't have any problems with the Gaza thing.
Yeah, please tell me all is not fair in love and war. Please take that back. For the sake of your people being indiscriminately bombed every day, you cannot say that is fair because it's war.
We didn't come up with this actually. The Western world come up with this.
You gotta move.
I don't agree with this actually. I don't. I think there are restrictions to, all these things. I don't endorse extreme Islam, extreme versions of these. Yeah, I don't.
But me saying things that like Muhammad is gay, when I say that, it's not inciting violence because someone decided to get angry at me and hit me.
Yeah, but you
Incited
Get
violence.
angry about anything.
you should.
Literally anything.
Yeah. If you're not, you don't want me to not say it because you're afraid someone will get angry at me and hurt me.
But for Muslims,
You're trying to protect the extremists from my language because you know they'll kill me if I say it.
yeah, but Muslims would say that they love the Prophet Muhammad so much. They love and revere Prophet Muhammad so much that Prophet Muhammad is
So
a
much that they'll kill people for it.
no Prophet Muhammad.
Maybe they should calm the fuck down.
Yeah, they need to be a little bit less sensitive. What did you say? I mean, you said
Maybe,
that a
maybe
couple
they
minutes
should
ago.
work on their self-control and, read some religious books about self-control or some shit.
You know the ancient
They
Chinese
can
proverb.
yell.
If
They
you're
can
gonna
yell.
worship a pedophile, you should have some tough skin, right?
Yeah, like, if you want to get angry, if you want to have a heated argument, if you want to yell about it, fine. Maybe don't be like a brute moron and kill everybody. Because that's, like, savage bullshit.
But Prophet
If
Muhammad.
somebody actually does that, they're not respectable in any way.
Yeah, but there is.
They should not have laws enacted to protect them from hearing things they don't like. If anything, they should have much less protection because they need to harden the fuck up by hearing a few hard truths.
Prophet Muhammad is also a symbol of truth for Muslims, right? So challenging or insulting him is like challenging the truth and all these things attached to that. So
You can challenge what people think is truth all day. What's the problem?
if
You think something's true, I think something else is true. We can argue about it. That's why we have debates.
but to
Why are
what
people,
extent is
like,
the question?
killing people over
To what to what extent is the question, right? If you
any extent, literally to any extent.
so you think
That's the point of argument.
a world where we start teaching that 2 plus 5 is 10 and not 7. I mean, will you endorse such type of
Say
word?
as much as you want. If you go to a crowd of people and you say 2 plus 2 is 7. Okay. And so what?
I'm saying that we should not promote such kind of a world, right?
Why?
Because it's not linked to truth.
It doesn't, like, people say untrue things all the time. You said untrue things in this conversation for my sake.
This is the way where you start saying absurd things. You people start saying absurd things. This is the liberalism. This is the bad side of extreme liberalism.
Conversation, and I don't think you should have anything taken from you.
This is the bad side of.
What should happen to you for saying the absurdities and the untruths that you've said is that we argue with you.
I think this is the bad side of extreme liberalism, where you don't even care about truth anymore. You don't care about insulting.
I care about truth. That's why I'm arguing with you. That's why I'm getting annoyed with you. That's why I'm yelling at you from time to time.
For emotional.
I care about it a lot, but that doesn't mean I want to take away anything from you because you believe what you're saying. Because you actually believe what you're saying. I won't gain anything from punishing you in some way. The only way that I will gain in any way is by convincing you that you're wrong. And the only way I can do that is by hearing what you say and arguing against it.
Okay, it's going in circles.
That's the only possible way to change your mind. Otherwise, all we have is an echo chamber where nobody ever changes their mind, and untruth is allowed to fester in the darkness.
Okay, it's going into circles, and I think we have made, all of us have made our arguments, and I think it's fine. I endorse the compatibilist model where we try to understand each other and live in a peaceful world. That's, I think, the last point I would like to say. And I think it's
As long as we agree with you,
As long as we agree with them.
that's always the answer.
agreement is mutual. Agreement is always mutual, right? Agreement is mutual. There is symbiotic relationship. There is.
So you agree with being compatible and understanding and making compromises and living in a peaceful world as long as everybody's in Muslim or
And you expect the same from me. You expect the same from me. Yeah. So it goes both ways. So I think we can probably.
Absolutely not. It does not go both ways. You are preaching that, and I am not preaching anything.
You people also preached for the past 3 years. You are preaching me that, hey, don't believe in that, right? So it's the same.
Yes, I am telling you what I believe.
Yeah.
Is true.
So it's the same thing.
You are advocating that if I don't kowtow to your religion, I should be hurt.
Okay. Now, can we end it in a good way? Can we end it in a good way?
I'm not going to end it in a good way until you say that if I say what I believe about Prophet Muhammad, that nothing bad should happen to me and there should be no laws about hurting me.
In-
If you say that,
Sounds like you agree with them.
I would actually, yeah, I would.
if you denounce Sharia law in this respect, then we can end it on good terms.
I would tell you that I love Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I would like that you don't insult him. Yeah.
And I have a good thing to say. I would like that you don't insult me by saying that I should be killed if I say my opinion, or be threatened with death. Threatened with death, I count very close to killing, right? So if you're going to threaten me with death, if that's the kind of relationship we're going to have,
In your country,
you better not say something I don't like, or you should be afraid for your life. We cannot be on good terms. You've ensured that with your own behavior. You have created a situation where it's impossible for us to be peaceful or for us to in any way interact on good terms.
instead of.
The only thing that we can be when you preach things like that is enemies.
By the way, can you?
Only. This is your fault only.
No. Can you not control yourself by, instead of insulting religions, you can criticize religion in a nicer way? Can you also not control yourself?
Absolutely. As soon as you say that there should be no law that says that I should die and I should not be threatened with death for my speech, then yes, then I can start being nice.
Those laws are.
Nice. I'm not going to be nice to a person who preaches that I should be threatened with death for any of my speech. Okay?
You do know logic. You do know.
Once you become civilized and treat me like a human being, then I will treat you kindly.
Logic.
If you are unkind and treat me as subhuman, I will not be kind.
Okay, now hear me out. Hear me out. You do know the difference between individual mentality and a public mentality. You do know about that, right?